It's the big day. It's the final of the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup between India A and Bangladesh A. Flag, the Hong Kong flag, the emblem of Cricket Hong Kong. The sponsors as well, so kind to us. And what a backdrop, what a day. Live from the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground in To Kwa Wan, Hong Kong. It's Jay Dansagani starting off this broadcast with my good friend and co-commentator, Suhas Vedam. Suhas, welcome to the Combox.
Thank you, Jay. Very good morning, everyone watching. Yeah, that's when Bangladesh decided to make their way in just moments ago. And then Mikhail giving them a hug. Already there to receive them. And then the Indians. Oh, what a ride it's been for them. All in readiness for this all-important contest. India A taking on Bangladesh A. And the good news is that Tin Kwong Cricket Ground is greeted with some sunshine.
I like how you say some sunshine, Suhas. I think I'm sunburnt right now, actually. And that Indian team, a very different road to the final for them compared to Bangladesh A. Bangladesh A, of course, winning that last over thriller yesterday against Pakistan. India, however, it's been a while. It's been a week since they last were in action. Shreyanka Patil's 5 she was the star of the show. And of course, the toss is going to be important, as is the pitch. And to find out how the pitch is going to play, Mikhail Vaswani. He's out there in the center. Mikhail, take it away.
It's India A versus Bangladesh A. Before we get to the surface, clear skies, bright and sunny, rain is out of the way. Right, let's talk about the 22 yards, the talking point usually before the toss and all of the match as well. This is the same wicket on which Bangladesh A played Pakistan A in the semi-finals as well. Yesterday it was a little bit more damp, today it's more drier, which means that it gets even more better for batting. But we did see one thing very, very well last evening as well. The spinners gripping the ball off the surface and purchase turned as well. So this is something that the captains will keep in mind, because we've seen spin being introduced very early. I'll show you the dry area, the dry surface over here, and I'll show you why it makes a very good batting track this time around. This is all very, very dry, very, very hard, and I would want to believe that the team winning the toss would want to bat first. Remember, it's the big final. The scoreboard pressure, the dot ball percentage really got on to Pakistan A yesterday in the chase, and they could not really overhaul the target of 59, and that's why they went down by 6 runs. In a big match like this, you ideally want to win the toss and bat first and put the runs on the board, because not much is going to change over here. And as far as the weather is concerned, bright and sunny, perfect conditions to play cricket. So looking at this strip on first go, if I'm the captain, I'll ideally want to get the runs on the board.
And there's something about surfaces and Mikhail as well, isn't it? Well, he says you do not want the pressure of chasing in a big finale. How do you see it, Jay?
I completely agree with Mikhail, no doubt about it. Big final, you win the toss, you bat first. The surface as well has been taking a little bit of turn. So you want to get first use of the surface as a batting team and put that scoreboard pressure on the board.
That's the surface. Let's look at the sky as well. 32 degrees the temperature, humidity very high, but no one will complain, as we can see clouds which are white in color again, and it's a great sign. It's a great sign for Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023 Grand Finale. India A versus Bangladesh A.
The teams, they're definitely ready to play. You can see that Indian team warming up. Shweta Sehrawat, Shreyanka Patil, I recognize those sneakers from a mile away. She's ready, the RCB star. A lot of these players, of course, were at the Under-19 World Cup. We have Nushin as well, the head coach. She's the head coach of the Under-19 World Cup as well. A very young team, this India A team. They topped their group. And in spite of their final being washed out, they made it through to the big day. And Bangladesh as well, they've got some experienced heads. You have someone like Nahida Akhtar as well with 74 T20I wickets. Sobhana Mostari, Lata Mondal as well, the skipper. They have a little more experience at the senior international level, and I wonder if that's going to help them in this big final. Beautiful backdrop, as we said. Amazing weather, blue skies, happy faces, and two teams who are ready to fight for the trophy here in Hong Kong. The youngsters from Bangladesh just getting fresh, getting warmed up. You can see in the background as well some of the ACC support staff, smiles on their faces. Bangladesh in happy spirits as well. They're coming off a winner and an absolute thriller yesterday.
And this is what they're playing for. The glitzy trophy of Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023. Who will have their hands in those? Would it be India A? Would it be Bangladesh A? Well, we are just few hours away from knowing that, and it's going to be a cracker of a game, as these are two teams which are raring to go on this cricket ground.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Both teams so ready. India A as well. It's been a while since they played, but I think actually we're ready for the toss. Mikhail once again is out there with the two captains.
Clear skies, bright sunshine. It's the big final between India A and Bangladesh A. It's toss time here for the one last time at the Tin Kwong Road Recreational Ground. I have the star cast to my left, the captain of India, Shweta Sehrawat, the captain of Bangladesh, Lata Mondal, and to oversee the toss, match referee Michelle Pereira. Lata, you have the coin. Shweta, you'll be flipping the coin for the one last time. Lata, you'll be calling.
Calling for tails?
Tails is the call. Heads it is. Shweta, can I have you here? Right, you won the toss. What have you decided and why?
We like to bat first. The wicket looks really good, and yeah, it will get better as we bat on.
Right, you have not played much in this competition. What do you make of the surface, and what's the kind of total you're looking at?
We'll go for 140 plus. Yeah, we'll definitely go for a good score.
Right, and any changes to your playing 11?
Yeah, we have one change. Vrinda coming in place of Anusha.
Right, big final, all very best. You've played good cricket. I'm sure you'll want to finish it off in style.
Thank you.
Right. Lata, what would you have done had you won the toss?
We also like to bat first, so unfortunately they are win the toss. So don't worry, we are not worried about this. So we have a good bowling side, so we can attack early.
Right, how different the surface is, because yesterday you played on the same wicket. How different is it from yesterday?
Today is sun is coming, so ground outfield is very good. So maybe I think wicket yesterday we play last match, that wicket also good. So hopefully good for us.
Right, and what about your playing 11?
Same.
Good luck, all the very best. You played brilliant yesterday. I'm sure you'll want to repeat that.
Thank you so much.
Right, Captain there, Lata Mondal of Bangladesh A. So the news from the centre is that India A have won the toss and they've decided to put the runs on the board.
No surprises there. No surprises of what happened in the previous game, the second semi-final. Now, India A versus Bangladesh A. These are the teams that they'll be sporting. We'll start with India. Shweta Sehrawat, the skipper. Uma Chetri ready to go behind the wicket too. Soumya Tiwari, Trisha is in good. She's in good touch for sure with that 6. And Shriyanka Patil, who's picking up wickets for fun. Kanika Ahuja, Titas Sadhu. Vrinda Dinesh is drafted into the side. Kashvi Gautam, Parshvi Chopra, and Manat Kashyap to spin a web around the batters.
And for Bangladesh A, it's Lata Mondal, the skipper, right up at the top. Dilara Akhtar with the gloves. Subhana Mostari with a lot of international experience. Murshada Khatun, the left-hander, with the highest individual score of the tournament so far. Nahida Akhtar, the left-arm spinner. She's going to have a big role to play, along with fellow left-arm spinner Shanjida Akhtar. Rabia Khan as well with her leg spinners. Shorna Akhtar, Sultana Khatun, Marufa Akhtar. Very excited to see her in action. And Shati Rani, the opening batter.
And it's going to be a cracker of a game coming up, as both the teams have decided to go through with their battle cries. India winning the toss and choosing to bat first. And very soon you would see Shweta as well. Batted up, you never know. And of course, it's a brilliant weather to start with, Jay.
Mate, absolutely right on both counts. It was the obvious decision as well to bat first in the big final. Yesterday we were talking about maybe the possibility of Bangladesh A might have been smarter to chase given the DLS equation. But Lata Mondal, you got to give her credit. She stuck to her guns. She stuck to the script of getting runs on the board, that scoreboard pressure, and it worked for them. And I have a feeling it might just work for India A today as well.
And Bangladesh would have been confident in restricting a total after what happened in the semi-final too. Now they've got to be the other way around, and that can be a little ploy that's played by India A is what I feel, apart from backing themselves of putting the runs on the board in the big finale.
Yeah, right on. I love how all three commentators are on the same page at the start of this broadcast, and I get the feeling a lot of you at home as well completely agree with us. So it's a big toss to win for Hong Kong, make no doubt about that. And look at that, the public area. We got a few spectators coming into the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. A revised start time as well of 11:30. We're trying to get a game in, a full game. And you know what? Fingers crossed. I think we're going to have an uninterrupted contest today at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground.
Don't put the mockers on. Come on, Jay. We don't want that curse again. The Dansingani curse that you keep talking about. Out come the two umpires for the grand finale of Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023.
Yeah, we're around 3.5 minutes away from the first ball being bowled. Two of those umpires walking out to the middle. It's an all-female officials panel here at the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup.
Yeah, Nimali Pereira and Himangi Yazal. Two extremely experienced umpires. And our third umpire for today is Dedanu De Silva from Sri Lanka. And our match referee, of course, Michelle Pereira. It must be giving them a lot of motivation as they walk through their trophy almost. Bangladesh A. They've been through thick and thins. They understand each other really well. Now the final frontier awaits. It's going to be a fantastic contest for sure. Not just because the skies are cooperating. Also because these are two teams which are raring to go. Remember, the amount of cricket that we've played in this tournament could have been more as well. Just tells you how hungry they are to score those runs and pick up wickets, both the sides, as they find themselves one step away from the glitzy trophy.
Look at that, the big trophy in the backdrop. Shweta Sehrawat, she's going to be opening things up here for Hong Kong. Apologies for India A. There you go.
India A indeed, Jay. Now Shweta Sehrawat with Uma Chetri. Uma Chetri has been given the license, I'm absolutely sure, to go bonkers first up. Don't look for the smaller denominations at all. Make the most of the first 6 overs. Also remember, we're going to have, lucky enough if we are, then we're going to have a full game. We've been having curtail games before, 9 overs aside, 5 overs aside. Now the T20 contest begins. So the first 6 overs, you can expect these two batters to be very, very explosive. Shweta, that's second nature to her.
Top run scorer at the Under-19 World Cup, Shweta Sehrawat, leading India here, opening the batting as well for India A. And the reason I got confused and mentioned Hong Kong, what I wanted to say is Uma Chetri. She did get a quick start against Hong Kong right off the bat in the power play. Still remember her first boundary. An uppish leg side flick.
To a pacer. And the way she timed it as well. Excellent. Can she do something of that sort today as well? But she's got to wait a little bit for that. As Shweta Ichalbidu takes strike. And Akhtar ready to roar. Wasn't she phenomenal just 24 hours ago? Shweta Sehrawat. Right hand batter. And I sometimes think you just add in the bracket, will bat wherever the team wants her to bat. But quite happy opening. Is it going to swing a little bit, Jay? Not overcast conditions today, but if one thing Mushiz has shown is that she can swing the ball, Marufa Akhtar. But the control factor is something that she's still waiting for. A thank you note to be written to Dilara.
I was about to say I'm very excited to see this 4-over spell from Marufa Akhtar. Bit of an anti-climax, straying down the leg side. But look, she's got that typical fast bowler's temperament. I said this on Twitter as well yesterday. Her stare is enough to take early wickets, Marufa Akhtar.
And I just love the way Lata Mondal used her yesterday too.
It was a good shot, but straight to the fielder. I think it's very important to get off to a solid start. It doesn't have to be a spectacular start. But one thing I really resonated with Lata Mondal at the toss and Shweta Sehrawat, that 120 score. 120, you get the feeling that's going to be a very good score on this surface.
The line is something that she's searching for here, Akhtar. The pace is cranking up as the over progresses.
Yeah, pace. That's the big thing for Marufa Akhtar. She was touching 120 kilometers per hour at the Under-19 World Cup. And you're right, just coming back to your point, I love the way that she was utilized yesterday. Utilized as a top and tail bowler. Used in the power play, used right at the end at those important overs.
Top and tail, I like that. And someone who targets the head and toes equally well, otherwise she's got a good bouncer and a yorker that swings back in at the last moment as well. Uma Chhetri's got to be ready for that one. She's going to start off with a big shot is what I believe. Gets the first run. Uma Chhetri dealing with a swinging ball. Do the skies even matter? Does the cloud cover matter? Because Marufa can swing the ball both ways either way.
I read an interesting article a few years ago that argued that the whole issue about cloud cover and its relation to swing is actually an urban myth.
Don't break my bubble. Oh, this one's guided away beautifully. The second run's on. No, only one for the taking. Look at that throw as well. Not very airy.
Yeah, it was a good throw. A good outfield as well towards that side of the ground. Yeah, it's good to see. You get value for your shots as well when you have a nice quick outfield.
Marufa gets the field that she wants as well. It looks like it looks like fine leg, which is inside the circle, just keeps on moving towards her left, Nahida. And then the quicker you get, the slower delivery becomes a better friend, doesn't it, Jay?
She's an intelligent operator, Marufa Akhtar. She's made her debut already for Bangladesh. Yeah, there you can see, just beating the inside edge of Uma Chhetri. It's the first false shot of the day. And Marufa, I wonder, India A, are they thinking about just playing her out?
Straight to the fielder. A start that both teams can be proud of. 4 without a wicket, India A.
You can see, couldn't quite find the gap there, Uma Chhetri. But it's nice to feel bat on ball. Like we said, for India, it's about getting off to a safe start in the big final. The teams once again, Shweta Sehrawat, Uma Chhetri, Soumya Tiwari, Trisha Gongadi, Shreyanka Patil, Kanika Ahuja, Tita Sadhu with a new ball, Vrinda Dinesh coming into this squad and this 11. Kashvi Gautam with her medium pace, Parshavi Chopra, the leg spinner, and Mannat Kashyap with her left arm spin variety.
Lata Mondal, spinner's terrific skipper for Bangladesh. A. Dilara Akhtar behind the wicket. Shobana Mostari, Sultana, Marufa Akhtar, and of course the other Akhtar, Shanjida. All set. Now this is a shorter boundary end, if you want to call it, and a spinner in operation. It's not something we see regularly. But come the big finale, Shanjida is up for the task, she says. Exciting battle.
Can't find the gap on the offside. And one thing I want to say about Shanjida as well, had an interesting game yesterday. Leaked 14 runs in her first over. But that final over when 13 were needed, conceded just 6 runs.
Excellent point. And didn't she use the first over to find out the right pace to be bowling on this track? She just kept on reducing the pace as the second over progressed of hers, keeping it wide and away from the hitting arc of Fatima Sana as well.
Yeah, I think she realized as well how to bowl when you've got this short straight boundary as well. You don't want to be full and straight.
Jay, is the ball going to turn a little more? If that happens, we have a spicy contest on our hands. Remember, India A are brimming with spinners too.
The ball's going to turn. It's just a matter of how much.
Very well bowled. Just like the fact that the sun's playing hide and seek, but the white clouds are the ones that are greeting us today at Ting Kong. Didn't bounce as much, but she's cut it beautifully. And the outfield will allow this ball to go for 4 as well. It's just the timing of Chetri has been brilliant along with placement. The perfect ingredients if you're looking to cook up 4.
Just like you said, the ball keeping a little bit low, but she missed her length there, Shanjida. She did that yesterday as well against Aiman Fatima. A very similar shot from Fatima yesterday. And Uma Chetri, a decent start from her. Some clapping as well from a few of the Indian fans in the background.
It's a very specific battle cry as well that India has picked up. This is going to be 4 more. This is more straight. And this is more authoritative as well from Chetri.
Even better. You could hear that all the way from the comm box. Absolutely slapped through extra cover. Again, that length, not good enough. It gave Uma Chetri a lot of time to rock back and smash it away through the offside. A good start here. Again, Shanjida expensive in her first over.
That's very well played. It's the kind of shot that tells you that she's reading the loop that the bowler has to offer. And lovely fielding too. She's kept it down to a single. 2 overs later, 14 without a wicket, India A.
Still early days, but you get the feeling. A mini slight advantage here for India A. And we heard Sehrawat as well at the toss talking about that magical 120 figure. Uma Chetri, good start for her. 10 off 7 with those 2 boundaries coming in the previous over. 14 for no loss. They need to pull things back. And I wonder if we're going to see a change in bowling as well.
And Jay, because the second semi-final highlights are still rolling in your mind, Shanjida just went for 10 runs. If there's any template to follow. Just mentioned that the first over is not something that she was very good at in the big semi-final as well, but the second one is when she made a comeback. Now with India A, Soumya, Trisha, Shriyanka, there's a lot of batting to come. And the battle cry, not just the battle cry, but the way they support each other when there is a boundary hit. It's a specific song, and the rhythm of that song is something they picked up when they were all together in South Africa, as they saw the other teams cheering for boundaries in that way.
Change of bowling indeed. Nahida Akhtar slapped away. Oh, good piece of fielding. Definitely saved at least 1 run, if not 4.
Well called. Terrific effort, and that's something that Nahida would be mighty proud of. I think she's going to make the batter play straighter now as she's coming in from the longer end. This is terrific. Just marvellous to see something like this happen in the first ball itself, isn't it, Jay? Just sets the tone nicely.
Ooh, tries to cut it away. It was very close to the stumps there. And you put the markers on them, Suhas. A bit of a misfield. Needless single conceded.
Now it's turned into a so-so start, isn't it, for Nahida? A terrific boundary has been stopped, and suddenly something straightforward put down. Or something that went through.
She's a smart operator, though. 74 wickets in her T20 international career. The 3rd highest wicket taker for Bangladesh in T20Is. It's an easy single. Good early call. No hesitation there whatsoever. But yeah, she's only 23 years old, but she's been playing for around 7 or 8 years in international cricket. Nahida Akhtar, one of the most experienced players in this entire competition.
There's a good point that you make, Jay. What happens is when you're exposed to high levels of pressure, you sort of mature quickly as well as a cricketer. And that's what she's done here with an opportunity generated. Oh, tried her best to convert that into a catch. Murshida. It wasn't one. And Shweta and Chetri will breathe easy now.
Yeah, I think that technically does not count as a drop catch. It landed just short of her. I gotta say, she ran around the ball. She's got to run towards the ball. Let's see if that analysis checks out on the replay. It was high in the air, didn't get the distance on it. And yeah, landing just short. Let's push down the ground, a bit uppish. An easy single to long off.
Isn't our game a little funny? Sometimes you're still out there and not in the dugout because you haven't timed it too well.
Yeah, I wish I had such luck in my junior cricket days.
I'll tell you, it's your avocado socks that you were talking about.
Good end to a good over, just 4 runs off it. India going at exactly a run a ball, 18 for no loss after 3.
No, it's fun because I get a lot of messages saying that the commentaries is something that you're not having a chatter. That I can know once I know you, like, right? It's just like you do. Bring that in, no worries.
The batting card so far, Uma Chaitri, the more dominant of the two partners. 12 off 11, Shweta Sehrawat as well, the captain. 5 off 7. Still early days, but a nice, tidy start here for Hong Kong. I think we're going to see a change in ends here for Marufa Akhtar. Now she's bowling from the Argyle Street end. Suhas, what do you think the reason is for this change of ends?
I really can't put a finger to it because I think despite Akhtar going for 10 runs in the previous over, Shanjida that is, I thought she was still good enough with her length. Marufa just looking at the umpire to see if she's standing like a scarecrow at the end of it. No, it's all right.
I tell you what, maybe just a little bit unlucky there, India, eh? It looked slightly outside of those parameters on the offside.
Shweta Sehrawat took her gloves off not because it's hot out there, but she wanted to check which way the grass is flying away and hit the ball into the wind so that it goes the distance. Very well bowled.
So many ways to skin a cat, Suhas. You can take wickets by building up dot ball pressure. Looks like good batting conditions and a good surface. I wonder if we misjudged the surface, actually. We're talking about a total something in the region of 120. But maybe to feel a bit safer, you need that 130, 140 type of score. Marufa, third ball of the over. Tucking her up nicely. I think the reason we're seeing Marufa bowling from this end is because you want the spinner typically to operate from the softball court end where you have those longer boundaries towards long on and long off. So it's a move I support. I think Marufa should have started from this over. Apologies, from this end.
But what we've seen so far is something that's subscribed to your thoughts, isn't it? It was the first time we saw a spinner operate from the shorter boundary end, the Argyle Street end. Now the ball on the offside is even better with Lata Mondal providing her services at extra cover. She had to venture out to access new gaps straight down the ground. It'll be for mid-on and mid-off are looking at each other playing rock, paper, scissors as to who wants to fetch it.
It's that short boundary we were talking about again. Took a bit of a risk there. Shweta Sehrawat. As you can see on this replay, not to the pitch of the ball, but went through with the shot. It hit high on the bat. But she got the elevation just enough distance to clear the 25-yard circle, and the outfield took care of the rest. Once again, they're going at exactly 6 runs and over.
Mid-on and mid-off not taking a start now. Region same, but she got a boot to it. Doesn't matter, it's still for back-to-back boundaries for Shweta.
I was about to say a nice bit of footwork, but it was hit so hard it still traveled to the boundary. Back-to-back boundaries, like you said, and suddenly a tidy over is looking very expensive here for Bangladesh A. This time over-pitched, you don't want to be doing that. Friendly batting conditions so far. Slap down the ground. Both batters into double figures. It's looking dangerous for Bangladesh A.
All this while playing spinner, Shweta was pushed to the back foot, not against the Pacers. Straight to the fielder this time. Quite content, calling no. Finishes off with a dot delivery, does Marufa. 26 without a wicket, India after 4.
Coincidentally, Pakistan A had also scored 26 after their first 4 overs yesterday. A bit of symmetry.
I admire the highlights still playing in your mind, Jay.
I don't know how I remember these things, Suhas. I really don't know.
You and I forget the umbrella even on a rainy day, but not this. Shweta 13 of 13, Shetri 12 of 11. Good for India A that both the openers have started to fire. 26 without a wicket in 4. And I make way for Mikhail Vaswani to take you through the next 4 along with Jaydan Singhani.
Six and a half runs and over. A relaxed dugout here for India. Yeah, they're letting their hair down. They can afford to as well. Another change in bowling. Interesting. Shanjida being brought back into the attack. Just the solitary over for Nahida. That's much better. Much, much better. Missed that sweep shot there, Uma Chetri. They're still looking for that first wicket in the power play, Bangladesh A. Didn't take too many wickets yesterday, but kept the runs down against Pakistan A. They've got very good defensive bowling skills. Goes down the ground, goes against the spin. Is this long enough? Oh no, put down in the deep. Bangladesh miss an opportunity. Mikhail Vaswani, what a time to walk into the comm box. Big, big reprieve for Bangladesh A.
What a lucky break that for Uma Chetri as well. Fielder position just for that catch, just for that miss hit. Straightforward, as simple as it gets. And she puts it down. Will this be costly? Only time will say, but at the moment, things not going the way Bangladesh A would have wanted.
You know, Shobana Mustari, she's got so much experience. She's got to take catches like that. An optimistic appeal. Shake of the head from the umpire. But Shanjida, she needed that wicket as well after that expensive first over. And once again, there's that replay, that play and a miss. Generous amount of turn, Mikhail.
And we talk of that puff of dust as well coming out from the surface. We got to see that as well. There's a lot of turn on this wicket, let me tell you.
Kept low. Useful dot ball. But no, that's a good spot as well. A bit of puff of dust. We spoke about this earlier in the broadcast as well. This pitch was always going to turn. It's just a matter of how much it was going to turn.
What a toss to win this for India, let me tell you.
2 balls left in the 5th. Down the track. Doesn't find the gap. Shweta Sehrawat, the captain. Couple of boundaries for her. Back to back, in fact, in that last over. Both batters batting on 13. India A. They're going strong. Looking good for that 120-130 total. Last ball of the over. Ooh, an arm ball. Intelligent bit of cricket there. A much better over for Shanjida. Just 1 run off it. India A, 27 for none after 5.
Again, just not the right length and right line as well to cut very close. But what I've liked about the India A batters, Jay, is the way they've used their feet to the spinners today, unafraid to step out. They know the pitch is turning square, but they've backed themselves. And that goes to show the conviction and the shot making they have. Bangladesh trying everything, rotating bowlers, changing ends, trying spin and pace, and then trying spin and spin from both sides. They know wickets is the key over here if they have to stop India from getting to a big total.
And again, a change of ends, this time for Nahida Akhtar. Yeah, you're right. Their plans just look a little bit haphazard here. Bangladesh A. Sultana Khatun is going to come in to the circle at mid-off. There's a long on back on the boundary. Last over of the power play. India A, are they going to look to go big? It's Uma Chetri on strike. She goes into the leg side, doesn't find the gap. Down to deep mid-wicket for a single.
Very exciting play, Uma Chetri. Likes to attack. Has that aggressive streak in a game. And her partner, her captain herself, Shweta, follows the same brand of cricket. And that's why both of these, if they get going, it can be problems plenty for the bowling side.
Oh, beautiful. That drift in, that turn away, just letting the surface speak for itself. Nahida Akhtar, we've talked about her experience. She was fantastic. 1 for 8 in her 2 overs yesterday. That 21 as well at the top of the in the middle of the order. Down the track. Ooh, just yorks herself a bit there. Shweta Sehrawat. Once again, that dot ball pressure. Just 2 runs coming in the last 9 deliveries for India A.
That's something that'll play at the back of your mind. But again, using a feet, taking it on the full, didn't quite convert it into a run-scoring opportunity. But looking at the manner in which this ball is turning on the surface, you don't want to bat second, Jay.
3 balls left in the power play. Oh, beautiful. Nahida Akhtar. All that experience showing. That one going on with the arm. And Shweta Sehrawat. Her timber's been disturbed and India have just lost their first wicket.
Well, you spoke about just 2 runs coming in the last 9 deliveries. The dot ball pressure playing on the mind of Shweta Sehrawat. This time just trying to play towards mid-wicket to a delivery that went with the arm, closing the face of the bat, rolling her wrist over it. And she just spelled doom for herself. What a delivery by Nahida. Big wicket here for Bangladesh. They're right back into the contest. Captain departs for 13 in 20. She'll be disappointed, Shweta. Nahida gets the first wicket. It's 28 for 1.
Yeah, things are literally and figuratively heating up at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. We were just talking about maybe a bit of an early advantage for India A. But Nahida, she gets one back for Bangladesh A, and once again this contest is right in the balance.
Oh, yes, time and again the Bangladesh spinners just bringing their team back in the contest. We saw it yesterday in the semi-final against Pakistan A as well. It's been a decent start by India A. Just lost the wicket of their skipper. And they'll want to keep things tight now. Nahida Akhtar always playing a very, very pivotal role. Rinda Dinesh, the new batter in, drafted into the side today for the big final. Can she produce the goods?
Yeah, plays for Karnataka. Not the only Karnataka player, of course, in this lineup for India A. We've got Shreyanka Patil. I know she starred with that fifer in India A's only game against Hong Kong, but Shreyanka, she can bat as well. Got more RCB firepower. Kanika Ahuja still in the dugout. It's a good start. Tucked away, straight to Marufa. But look, if you're India A, you can afford to just play yourself in for the next 2 overs.
Very smart bowler Nahida. Just varies the pace and length time and again. Keeps the batter guessing.
Brilliant last over of the power play. Once again, just 1 run off it. After 6 overs, India 28 for 1. And a key statistic, just 2 runs coming in the last 2 overs. And with the addition of that big wicket of Shweta Sehrawat as well, she's looking dangerous. Hit back-to-back boundaries, of course, against Marufa Akhtar. Uma Chaitri. She's got a lot of responsibilities on her shoulder, and that's why Shweta Sehrawat played all around a straight one.
And she may have also got an inside edge onto that one. Just felt that it was something that played on as well into the stumps. But there again, just trying to play towards the mid-wicket region. Big wicket, just at the right time for Bangladesh. You don't want things to slip out of grasp at the moment.
The signal from the umpire, that helicopter signal. We're into the second power play now. So the fielding restrictions are done. They can spread out the field if they want to. And you get the feeling it's spin to win here for Bangladesh A. Off spin for the first time. Sultana Khatun with her first delivery. Can she maintain that pressure? Swept away, fetched from wide outside off. Just a single down to that deep mid-wicket region.
Very adventurous Chaitri in the middle. Unafraid to play across the line to the left-arm orthodox spinner, and she'll fancy her chances more with the offie, with the ball coming into her. Vrinda Dinesh, can she be the perfect foil to a partner who's looking adventurous and in an attacking mode as well? You can be rest assured that Chaitri won't change her game, her style of play, her approach, despite what's happening at the other end, Jay.
Yeah, but it's so important for Dinesh at the crease right now. Came in at number 3. You don't want to get stuck at the start of your innings. Oh, an outside edge, fortuitous. It's running down to the boundary. And it's going to get there. A very lucky way to get off the mark for Vrinda Dinesh. 33 for 1. That run rate just a shade over 5 runs and over.
And that's why sometimes captains opt for a slip for a new batter. They just come in very handy. This was regulation edge. Could have easily gone to first slip, but she's off the mark with a streaky 4, and she'll take it as well. 4 welcome runs here for India.
Yeah, it's tough as well for the off spinner. Did nothing wrong there. Drew the outside edge. This time it spins in. It was a bit uppish. Shouts of catch. Goes down to Mustari there at long on. So good over so far. 6 runs off it. We're only halfway through it. That fortuitous boundary, and I agree with you, Mikhail. You got to get that first slip in. Got the momentum. The opposition just under the cosh. She goes big. It's high, and I think it's long enough. Look at that. Uma Chaitri absolutely nails that slog sweep for 6.
And that's exactly what I told you sometime back. She'll fancy her chances with the offie. With the turn, she will target that mid-wicket region. And she's done just that. Look at the dugout. They come out with their customary cheer. And they're enjoying very good shot under pressure. But she'll not change her style of play. With the turn, goes down on her feet and hammers that, drills it over the mid-wicket region. What a shot.
2 balls left, 12 runs off the over. Ooh, a play and a miss. Bit of an anti-climax there, Mikhail.
Yeah, you don't want to bowl the deliveries in the arc when it's Chaitri. You want to keep it somewhere outside. Much better delivery going with the arm.
Last ball, fires it in. Another dot ball. Good bit of fielding there, in fact. Nonetheless, a very expensive over for Sultana Khatun. Maybe lucky to get away with that one as well. Oh, she could have gone harder at that. Could have slapped it away. Square of the wicket for 4. There was a big gap there as well between those 2 fielders on the offside. But look, 40 for 1 after 7. Whose dugout would you rather be in?
Certainly in India's dugout at the moment. We'll take a look at the bowling card as well of Bangladesh. Just the 1 wicket here for Nahida. She's bowled very well. 7 dot deliveries in her 2 overs. And she's accounted for the big wicket of Shweta Sehrawat, an economy of 2.5. Sultana in her first over just proving a little costly. India getting that much needed momentum. Chaitri in an attacking mindset. Vrinda has just walked in. So this partnership just about growing. And this association will play a very important role if India need to get to that 120, 140 mark as told by the captain at the toss. But it's spin all the way for Bangladesh. Rabia with the leg break will come in.
Yep, she took 2 for 13 yesterday, Rabia Khan. Both those overs as well, she bowled from this end. That Argyle Street end with the short, straight boundary. Vrinda Dinesh on strike. Friendly full toss. Ooh, misses out on that one. Straight to Lata Mondal.
And a friendly hit as well, straight back to the fielder. No damage done. That could have easily gone for a couple of runs. Just a little tentative here, Vrinda.
Pushed away. Eased away rather. Square of the wicket. Deep cover will keep it down to 1. But I get the feeling for your Bangladesh A. You've got to ensure that Vrinda Dinesh takes as much strike as possible.
That's a good point. But with Uma at the other end as well on strike, she may also give you a few chances in the middle because she's unafraid to play her shots. She's ready to take on the opposition. So she'll always come in with that factor of maybe just giving an outside chance to the fielders in the deep.
Bang, she goes down the ground. Should be taken. No, it's been put down. Marufa Akhtar. That's a second drop catch here for Bangladesh A, and that should have been the end of Uma Chaitri.
Living dangerously here, Uma Chaitri. Looking to go big once again. Didn't get the distance on it. But if the invitation is there, she'll go for her shots. Marufa Akhtar had to come in quickly for that. We'll take a look at it later.
Watchful this time. Straight to the fielder. Oh no, Bangladesh. Bangladesh A, another misfield. Conceding a needless single there. Yeah, the score right now really should be 41 for 2 instead of 43 for 1. That drop catch, a single taken, another single of the next delivery.
And immediately after that drop catch, we'll take a look at it here. Maruf Akhtar had to come in quickly. It was pretty regulation, pretty straightforward, and she's been moved from long on to long off after that drop catch. Uma Chetri getting alive.
2 balls left. Boulder. Rabia, she did it yesterday. She's done it again today. Big wicket at a big time. India A have lost both their openers.
Very ordinary shot. Very poor cricket. Playing across the line to a straightish delivery for someone who's just been given a reprieve. Chetri has thrown it away, only to put her team in a little bit of a trouble. She walks back for 22 in 20, was looking good, played some big hits, but she departs. Rabia gets her first wicket in the first over. Bangladesh come back again. It's 43 for 2 in the 8th.
It's happened again, just as we thought that India A were running away with this game, just as we thought that they were in control. They've lost a wicket. So at the end of the day, that drop catch didn't cost Bangladesh A too much. India A 43 for 2. If you're just joining us, the news from the big final, India A, they won the toss and decided to bat first. They got off to a strong start, but now they've lost both their openers. And once again, Mikhail, you get the feeling this game is in the balance.
Quite certainly. Each time India looks to be taking it away, Bangladesh pegging it back with a few wickets. But if you're Maruf Akhtar, you'll feel really good to see the back of Uma Chetri. You don't want to see a batter whom you drop get the runs. Trisha Gongadi, another very fine, skillful batter in the middle. Miss Dependable of this Indian setup. And she'll have to really drop anchor if they have to get past maybe that 100-run mark.
Yeah, closed out that chase against Hong Kong with a pull shot over deep mid-wicket for 6. A lot more watchful this time. But another successful over here for Bangladesh A. Another successful over for Rabia Khan. India A, 43 for 2 after 8.
After 8 hours, 2 minutes down.
.43 for 2 after 8 overs. Bangladesh are just pulling things back in their favour. Change in voices. Jaidan Singhani takes a break, and in comes Suhas Vedam in the com box, as Sultana, who gave away 12 in a first, will continue. Nicely played, a single down to long on, and this is what India should be doing. Just consolidate, rebuild, and then work towards the skyscrapers. At the moment, Bangladesh will just be hoping for a wicket or 2 more. They've done well to bring themselves back into the equation. Tossed up, another nicely driven shot towards long off. They run in the first run fast. Suhas, time for some rebuilding act here by India.
And reassessment of the initial total that they thought of. 4-6 overs was so-so for them. The advantage with India A is that they bat so deep that the person coming in at number 11 will take offense if you call her a tail-ender. Brinda. Handsome combo. And the role today is to build an innings now. Trisha, who, as Jay mentioned, scored a terrific shot through the leg side to finish the game. Seems like a long time ago.
Oh yes, tell me about it. Oh, this one came in sharply turned. Trisha had no clue whatsoever what was happening over there. From outside of off, almost crashed into leg. Beautifully bowled.
Extra bit of bounce there. Saving the batter. Not shying away from slowing things here, Mikhail.
Oh yes, and you can see the ball stopping at times after pitching on the surface. It does get a little sluggish. That's the commitment Bangladesh need to put in the field time and again. They've had a few slip-ups.
Will retain strike, Trisha. 9 overs later, 47 for 2, India A.
शाबाश राबिया शाबाश अम्मे हैप्पी अप ऊपर है
Run ball 9 for Vrinda. A quiet start so far for Trisha, who would love to kick into the next gear. Ravi has been sensational in her first over. And I think she's so good at just giving the ball that rip. One of the better spinners of Bangladesh.
Well, leg spin is all about control and landing it in the right areas. And Rabia just brings all of that when she comes on to bowl. But a nice shot as well played by Trisha.
You got to watch the ball out of the hand, isn't it? It's turning so beautifully for Rabia. Vrinda was very sure that she wants to smother the spin, not take it on.
You sense something will give way. Oh, look at that for turn. Just grips off the surface. Completely bamboozles the batter as well. Vrinda.
She gave it so much air as well, so a lot more time for the batter to contemplate and get confused about. It's a brilliant delivery indeed, pushing Vrinda deep inside the crease onto her back foot. Now the sweep shot. The lofted one. Oh, the ball plonks itself after pitching. Only a single.
If I'm Rabia, I'll not be disappointed at all with that shot. It's just another percentage shot which clicked this time around, but never easy to play a leg spinner towards deep square leg. It's the kind of risk the batters will need to take time and again just to ensure they keep the scoreboard ticking and don't get bogged down.
Trisha's quite content playing it with a straighter bat. I think that cross-batted shot was something that came by because of what transpired just 2 balls ago.
Yeah, you got to derail the bowler as well sometimes with just manufacturing shots in the middle. It was one such moment. There again, that's the area the leg spinner will be targeting. Another very fine over by Rabia. She's asking questions. She's keeping things quiet and just the right time for a water break as well. And a good time for both the teams to also get into a huddle and reassess and re-strategize. 10 gone, it's 49 for 2.
In the 10 overs, it's been very eventful. 49 for 2. Terrific shot. Now this is when Shweta decided to venture out and attack. 2 boundaries back to back for Shweta. This was the better of the two. And then this happened. Absolutely bamboozled by the one that kept straight. It was a very calculated shot, I thought, because someone had to take the risk at that time. And even though this catch was spilled, it didn't cost Bangladesh A much, as almost immediately the stumps were rattled. All in all, 49 for 2. India A at the halfway stage of this innings. Winning the toss, choosing to bat first. Shweta's 13 or 20 would be something that will be talked about for a while. Chetri was excellent for her 22 of 20, as she was assuming more responsibility with Shweta not going great guns initially. Vrinda's 10 of 12. Trisha 3 of 8, but can always kick into the next gear. That's the kind of batter she is.
Oh yes, after 10 overs, India A 49 for 2 with 8 wickets in hand. They'll want to believe they can add that much needed muscle power towards the latter stages of their innings and get maybe somewhere close to 120.
49 for 2.
It's been a very good bowling performance, just the one extra so far, and that's exactly what they did yesterday as well against Pakistan and Bangladesh. They have been very tidy and disciplined with their lines and length. They've had a few drop catches this morning, but I'm sure they've recovered from that and have done exceptionally well to just pull things back in their favour and keep India quiet, because at one stage Shweta and Uma were looking to go all out. The bowling performance, a wicket apiece for Nahida and Rabia in their 4 overs, only 10 runs between them and 2 wickets. That's been the high point of this Bangladesh A bowling performance. Marufa a touch expensive, and so was Shanjida, but expect them to come back. They're quality bowlers, very skillful. Sultana though, just having an off day. Nevertheless, this is going to be a very interesting passage of play.
I think the message would have been clear in that huddle that was formed at the halfway mark. And a few bottles of water which had more messages in them. Up the ante. India A, they bat deep, and there isn't a better time to start off teeing. Shanjida. Excellent to start off with Shanjida. Someone who assesses the conditions so well, doesn't she? Just the slower delivery when it matters the most. Teasing the batter till the end if she wants to go for the big shot.
This time gives the charge. Has she got the distance on it? Oh, that's beautifully struck over long off. Vrinda Dinesh has just produced a wonderful hit. Just like the way she used her feet, backed herself. Great footwork.
Signs of aggression right away. Oh, what a shot, getting to the pitch of the ball and then tonking it away. And the region that she selected as well, marvellous to watch. Long off was just a spectator. It's the second time that the spinner has landed it in the same area, and a back foot shot has been played off a delivery that didn't bounce as much as the batter expected initially. But the way Vrinda has adjusted has been sensational to watch. 16 of 15 now.
There again, uses the feet inside out. Another very, very good shot from her, and it rolls away to the boundary as well. Absolute batting masterclass in the middle from the bat of Vrinda Dinesh. She races to 20.
She's picked a spot here. And it was so good to see the control aspect of the shot. Never wanted to go full throttle, never wanted to go for a 6. Just like a spitting cobra. Uses only as much venom as required for the prey.
Just like the way she picked her spot and the way she presented her bat, there was no follow through. Just timed it. Everything good, so elegant about her shot making. And she knows her field.
Well planned, but not well executed. Trying to access that gap behind square is not a bad idea at all. Vrinda is a little disappointed. She's looking at the bat in dismay.
And what she's done, she's just caught Bangladesh by surprise with this blitzkrieg in this over. A 6 over long off, a 4 over extra cover. She's just about shaken them up in the field.
Trisha misses this one. The ball's doing something after pitching as well, and it's not turned. 11 overs later, 60 for 2 India A.
Take a look at the shots from the bat. But this one was bowled much slower and just imparted a bit of turn as well. What I've liked about Vrinda's batting is she's also challenged the fielder in the deep in that 6, Suhas. Long off was in position. She backed herself and went over long off. And then just adjusted her stance a bit in the next shot that she played over extra cover.
just love the fact that she's played an extravagant shot, but that didn't stop her from playing a shot where she had to curtail her follow through. That's the clarity with which she presents her bat, Vrinda. So good to watch when she's on song. 21 of 17 already, and just get a feeling that she's going to be the one to add respectability to the total, because Trisha is struggling a little bit. But that's gone through, and it's missed everything. Some deliveries are so good that not just the batter, but even the keeper has no clue about it.
And it missed the leg stump as well, so close to the leg stump. 4 byes coming in, but how close was this? Kept low. And it missed everything. 4 lucky runs, and the momentum is just shifting back in India's favour. Vrinda in the middle is also creating some wonderful moments with the bat.
It's known as a corridor of uncertainty for a reason. And it's the one that does not turn that's troubling the batters a little more as they wait for the turn. I think the template is broken. The template of not using spinners with the shorter boundaries, that's broken. If you can keep it away from the hitting arc and make it difficult for the batter to target the straighter boundaries, you can be very effective as a spinner, is what Rabia has shown.
This time again inside out, over covers. That will go for another boundary, and that's what Vrinda Dinesh has done so successfully this morning. Anything pitched up, anything in the arc, she's backed herself. Once again, a boundary that will certainly ease the pressure in the dugout.
Intentions have been made clear, execution's been perfect, and there's something about Vrinda and the love affair with the offside. Inside out supposed to be one of the more difficult shots to play, but not for Vrinda. Races on to 25 of just 20. This time through the leg side. She's called for 2. Don't think the second's available. Very good throw as well. Just loving the contest. This battle within a battle. Rabia hasn't been giving away boundaries for a long time. Now she's been hit away for 4. Trisha will feel a little easier after the boundaries have already been achieved in the over by Vrinda.
This time, Trisha gives the charge, gets a single towards long off. India is playing attacking cricket at the moment. They don't want Bangladesh to come back into the game. I'm sure that water break certainly was a message to go out there and express yourself, and Vrinda has done that.
False start. You've got to be absolutely sure as a bowler you are thriving on rhythm, and with the boundary ropes which are getting squeezed in, you've got to be absolutely sure. Oh, good ball. The fact that Vrinda had played the shot and could almost turn and see the ball go away from her tells you how slow and in control Rabia was. 12 overs later, 70 for 2.
After 12 overs. A reminder to stay hydrated and keep your eyes on the ball, especially if you're young children.
After 10 overs, it was 49 for 2, and after 12, it's 70 for 2. That's the acceleration that India A have brought to the innings, and this is nothing but adding a lot of pressure on the field. On Bangladesh A, they've got 21 runs in the last 12 deliveries. Just goes to show the kind of impact they've made with the bat.
The Bangladeshi supporters, they've started to throng Tim Kwong Recreation Ground. Is it good enough contact? No, it isn't. Fielder in the deep will pouch it to perfection. And Trisha, who wanted to break free, has found herself a fielder in the deep. India A lose another, and the partnership is broken. Sultana would be all smiles.
Well, that was against a run of play. Trisha not in charge of that particular hit, didn't get to the pitch of the ball. Finds the fielder at long off. Vrinda Dinesh was at the other end, and look at the gesture by the fielder. She had a message to say as well. Trisha departs for 4. Wicket number 3 goes for India A. It's 70 for 3 in over number 13.
That's your leg stop.
70 for 3 in 12.1, joined by Jay Dhansinghani.
Bowling right up
Vrinda
around,
26
ready
or 22. Kanika, who's going to bat for the first time in this tournament. Jay, this is going to be exciting. Kanika Ahuja, the left-handed, sensational cricketer, especially through the offside. Just love to watch her.
I'm excited. I cannot wait. Kanika Ahuja. A few cameos for RCB during the Women's Premier League. She can definitely go big. She's eyeing up that leg side right now.
And love the fearless brand of cricket that Kanika Ahuja subscribes to as well. That 46 versus the UP Warriors in WPL is just etched in memory forever. It's important that Sultana ties Kanika down, but she's unable to do so off the first ball as Kanika is already off the mark.
And I wonder if it's about playing those matchups as well. Kanika Ahuja, she's got a lot of left-arm spinners to contend with. That might be part of the reason why she's in at number 5 today. But against the off-spin, you want the right-hander hitting with the turn. And you can see Vrinda Dinesh as well, 26 off 22. And she's just eyeing up that leg side field. Square leg, deep mid-wicket, back on the fence. That's pushed straight to cover. A good over. Successful one so far. We're halfway through it. India 71 for 3 and that magical total of 120. Can they get there? Can they get beyond 120? India A.
If Kanika gets going, 120 easily. It looks like Vrinda has also shifted gears now that Kanika is still new to the crease. Perhaps India A are assessing that if Vrinda goes for the big shots right now and doesn't clear, that means 2 new batters would be at the crease, adding more pressure. Is it the kind of wicket, Jay, where you need a set batter at all times?
I'm glad you asked that question because every single time a wicket has fallen, we've seen a bit of a slowdown. So there's a learning curve for batters on this wicket. Oh, almost carried. An optimistic appeal for run out. But look, once again, that turn we were talking about. And you want to play those matchups. Kanika Ahuja trying to hit against the spin to the off spinner on a turning surface. Just not quite playing those percentages.
Catch!
That's a good shot. With Midon up in the circle, Kanika had made sure that she clears with ease. First boundary for Kanika Ahuja. 76 for 3 at the end of 13. What a way to end the over.
Yeah, not listening to my advice. Once again, hitting against the spin. But one thing she did well is get to the pitch of the ball. And she knew she wanted to go over mid-on. That's exactly what she did. First boundary for the aggressive left-hander. And of course, if you can put up some nice performances on an individual level in this tournament, you could maybe push your case for national selection. And look at that scorecard. Vrinda Dinesh, the headline act, 27 off 24. She's well set. And ideally, she'd like to bat through to the end. You've got Kanika Ahuja looking aggressive. Shreyanka Patil, Soumya Tiwari, more than capable with the bat. They're still in the dugout.
Remember, this is Vrinda's first ever innings on Hong Kong soil. What a way to get started. 27 of 24. An innings that's bound the Indian innings itself together. Marufa. Now Lata Mondal has realized the importance of a wicket at this stage. So in the middle overs itself, Marufa has got one more over to ball at this time and perhaps save one for the death. Wanting to be cheeky against Marufa, and it works for Vrinda. Surely the V region's behind her now.
Yeah, I love that. Just use the pace of the delivery as well. That extra pace from Marufa Akhtar. I was thinking maybe she was looking to go down the ground. Well, she did go straight, but straight over the head of the keeper.
That's exactly why you pack a protractor in the cricket kit bag. Just love the way she utilizes the angles. Marufa provided the pace, Vrinda provided the placement. And there was no chance for any fielder on an outfield of this kind. What a way to start the over. 80 for 3, leaving no parts of the ground unexplored is Vrinda.
Down the track, misses that one. And just rolled her fingers over that as well, Marufa Akhtar. Good comeback from her.
Exactly, what a good comeback, and you could see the roar that's resonating here at Tim Kwong Recreation Ground as Bangladesh A supporters swarm from all sides. Some of the shots through the offside were just marvellous to watch, especially when the ball wasn't bouncing as much. But Marufa's comeback, as you talked about, phenomenal. That's from the meat of the bat, and don't bother stopping it. It'll disappear beyond the ropes. In fact, one bounce into the fence. Oh, what a good start this is for Vrinda. 2 boundary balls and 3 balls.
Yeah, it was over pitched, and look how stylish that was over that fielder at extra cover. You could hear those shouts of shot as well from some of the ground staff here at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. I gotta say, one of the most stylish shots of the innings.
I think this one was for the coach. One for her heart, one for the coach. The field doesn't change. 4 inside the circle on the offside, including the third man who's inside the circle. Slower delivery, doesn't make good contact. Excellent effort. She stopped at least a couple of runs because Lata Mondal was closing in as the second line of defense if the ball would have gone past Nahida. If you're Marufa at this stage, what are you thinking? Because a slower delivery is it's something that's very effective already, but you've got to be not so predictable as well. But unlike the bouncer, slower delivery is a threat delivery to the opposition that you can use as many times as you want as well.
Yeah, it's a tough one for Marufa because she's so good at bowling that Yorker. But we have this short boundary that we've spoken about so many times. So you err even a little bit. And you could go, well, you could go the distance, in fact.
For Kanika, it's almost a straight line on the offside. But the ball's on the leg. Nice clear call, no.
That's got to be the single most optimistic appeal of the tournament so far.
Yeah, it's definitely topping the chart for optimism. That would have been out only if you had 6 set of stumps and on the either side of the 3 that we are allowed to use. Or Marufa. Where is that Yorker though? We haven't seen one yet. Is she saving it all up for the last over?
Last ball coming up. Slow delivery, well bowled. They're going to sneak through for a single nonetheless. Another good over there from India A. A couple of boundaries in that. They're motoring along now. 87 for 3 after 14. 6 overs left, Suhas. If you're India A, what sort of total are you eyeing up?
Now that Kanika has already started to show signs of aggression, and there are 2 batters out there who are middling the ball more often than not. I'm expecting at least 50 in the last 6 if the wickets don't fall. Or 65 and beyond. Marufa and Shanjida might go wicketless at the moment, but things can change towards the end. That's what we've seen so far at Tim Kwong. Nahida's 2 overs would be priceless for Lata Mondal. Sultan has picked up a wicket and Rabia too.
I get the feeling if they were to rein in the opposition here, Bangladesh A, you've got to go to your best bowlers on the day. Nahida Akhtar, Rabia, they've got to bowl the next 3. Looks like that might not happen. Sultana Khatun, the off-spinner to continue to Kanika Ahuja.
And it'll go past the keeper. Bit of an edge, but that'll do. Kanika is finding the boundaries one way or the other. And the intentions are clear that she wants to attack the first ball of every over.
Yeah, once again, that's the second time actually that Sultana Khatun has conceded a boundary because of a false shot. And look at that. Oh, Kanika Ahuja charging down the wicket. Sultana Khatun did everything right. She shortened her length as well. Got some turn off the deck. But how unlucky was that, Suhas?
Someone who idolizes Surya Kumar Yadav. Kanika wants to back like him too. And that's the offside shot that I was talking about. There is protection in the deep though. Sharna ensuring it's only a single. Sometimes from the middle of the bat can grant you a single. The outside edge just moments ago granted 4.
I called it when she walked into bat. I said, hold on to your hats. Kanika Ahuja is not going to take any half measures. The left-hander very aggressive, coming off a successful WPL as well for RCB. And Vrinda Dinesh, she's not doing too bad herself.
Should be taken. Vrinda Dinesh departs, and it's a huge moment in this game. Sultana persists with her line and length, and Vrinda has ended up checking her shot and gifting a catch. There's never a right time to lose a wicket, but I feel it's always a right time to pick up one. And Bangladesh have broken the partnership. Was deep inside the crease, but in the end it was a simple catch, didn't get the elevation.
You can hear that music as well in the background, getting louder and louder as the fans pour in. It's the end of Vrinda Dinesh, 36 off 29, a very good knock. 5 fours and a 6 for her. But she's going to walk back to the dugout. She's going to get a round of applause. There's still a little bit of work here to do for India A. Soumya Tiwari walks in at number 6, a punch of the gloves. Kanika Ahuja and her just having a conversation, no doubt. Just talking about that target. But India A right now looking very good for something in the region of 130. Bangladeshi fans, some VIPs as well from the consular mission in here at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. They brought their flags with them. And Sultana Khatun, she's brought Bangladesh A another wicket.
Yeah, the flags of all sizes. Good enough to wave, some good enough to drape over their shoulders and enjoy. Just love the tinge of patriotism that's taken over the Tin Kwong cricket ground here.
I tell you what, Bangladeshi fans. I think it's the first time I've seen Indian fans being outnumbered. Definitely come here loud and proud, the Bangladeshi fans. A big cheer as well at the fall of that wicket. And again, Ahuja looking leg side. 2 balls left. Sultana.
It's not a bad option at all because she's tied down Kanika by limiting her options by firing it into her pads.
Yeah, we say this so often. On a surface that offers a lot of turn, it's often the straighter ones that actually end up taking wickets. That's exactly what happened to Shweta Sehrawat as well at the top of the order.
Now Kanika, who loves to roar, versus the most soft-spoken in the side, Soumya. Just waited forever for that ball to arrive. Didn't want to offer the bat, rather wanted to accept that ball onto the bat. The second run, the only thoughts of it were entertained for a moment. Soon realized wouldn't be possible. 15 overs gone, 94 for 4.
That's also the end of Sultana Khatun's spell. 4 overs, 2 for 30. But she bowled a lot better than those figures suggested. 2 boundaries as well, edged down to deep third for 4. She got a bit unlucky, created a lot of chances. Once again, you can see leading the wickets for Bangladesh, 2 for 30 in her full quota. Rabia, she's got 1 left. Nahida, she's got 2. And I get the feeling that they're going to bowl their full quota. But Bangladesh need to find another 2 overs from somewhere. You get the feeling that they're only going to use these 5 bowlers. They're not going to go to a 6th bowler. And just as I say that, Rabia is coming in for a final over. 1 for 11 in her 3. This is a big over coming up as well.
Little bit of a stutter in taking that single, eyeing the non-striker's end. But Soumya makes it. This is going to be an interesting battle. Now this, of course, was a battle of minds. Once again, playing with soft hands. Kanika had made it. It was up to Soumya. And she did too in the end. Now Kanika all set to bludgeon the ball, especially if it's on offer through the offside. Versus Soumya, who's batting with the softest of hands possible. Very contrasting styles of play. Oh, this one turned.
I just heard one fan yell out, bowling, bowling. And he's right. Generous amount of turn like you can see there. She was shaping up to maybe go offside. Dream on, Kanika, says the leg spinner. I wonder if we're going to see the other one. The one that turns the other way.
Kanika was a little slow to start off with, but still the second run is on. She thinks this could be trouble. The dive had to come into play. It could be touch and go. Soumya is not looking happy. The throw was a little wild and it had to be tamed, but Rabia was in the right position to collect and dislodge. All eyes on the big screen now. This decision is with the third umpire.
Yeah, they need this wicket as well, Bangladesh, to peg back India. And I can hear some of the fielders as well asking the question, was the bat in the air? Bangladesh, they're not too sure. India's body language as well. India A's body language not the best. Did well to fetch it from so wide. Is she going to get back in time? No, not quite. There should be another wicket. There should be another wicket for Bangladesh A. We've gone up as a formality just to make sure. We're waiting for the decision, and there you go, the red light. She's already back in the dugout. Oh, she's walking towards it, Soumya Tiwari. India A now, they've lost half their side. They're 96 for 5. We're halfway through the 16th. Soumya Tiwari walks back for a run of ball 3. And Rabia, she will not get credited for that wicket. But she deserves some sort of credit for creating that pressure on India A. Soumya Tiwari, a very promising cricketer. That's the end of her tournament with the bat. And that 120 mark that we often speak of. There's a chance Bangladesh could restrict India under that mark, that 120 magical figure. And Shreyanka Patil walks in at number 7 to join her RCB teammate. We've talked her up throughout the tournament, Shreyanka Patil. And she loves to move across her stumps as well to access that leg side. Moves around in a crease, a very industrious cricketer. 3 balls left now. Rabia.
Good field positioning. Kanika wanting to attack but will only get a single. Shreyanka on strike for the first time. Marufa good enough for that throw as well. Now Shreyanka, she's going to play that 23 kind of an innings that she played versus Mumbai in the WPL. Shreyanka Patil, a star from Karnataka. That was a gritty 23. They need something similar to provide the finishing touches to this innings, India A.
Yeah, she's confident. She's big on social media. Sort of a junior Jemima Rodriguez, in fact, on social media.
Where do you bring your comparisons from? Just tells you how much you're glued into your socials too. Always fun to watch you there, Og. She's quite content letting the ball turn. Shreyanka. And she also mentioned after that match-winning performance with the ball in hand that her coach was around to see her, who took the flight to watch her play here in Hong Kong. Arjun.
The dot ball to close things out. And what a spell. Rabia Khan, the leg spinner, 1 for 14 in her 4 overs. She took 2 for 13 yesterday and once again delivers with the ball for skipper Lata Mondal and Bangladesh A. And again, that run rate for India, just a shade over 6 runs and over. We're well into the death overs now. Look at that beautiful backdrop. So good to see some fans in, some Indian fans. Maybe looking a little bit pensive after losing those 2 quick wickets just now. Suhas Vedam, he's going to rest his vocal cords. And joining me in the comm box for the last 4 overs is Mikhail Vaswani. He's going to take a sip of water perhaps. Now he's ready. Mikhail, 4 overs left. Big 4 overs as well.
Oh yes, Jay. India just losing momentum after controlling most part of this innings. Nahida into the attack. Worked away towards mid-wicket. Kanika is shaping up well. It's over to Shreyanka. Another fine utility player on the side. Important passage of play, the next 23 deliveries.
It's also the first time she's batting in this tournament, Shreyanka Patil. And she's yet to get off the mark. And make no mistake, Nahida Akhtar, one of the best bowlers in this tournament. She's taken 74 wickets in her T20I career. The 3rd highest wicket taker for Bangladesh in T20Is. All that experience, 8 years worth of experience in international cricket. And you get the feeling she's going to bowl the 17th and the 19th over. Just taking some time to set her field. Oh, and she's bowled her. That's the end of Shreyanka Patil. The flags keep waving here for Bangladesh. They've picked up 3 quick wickets.
And Bangladesh is coming back into this game. The crowd are on their feet. The Bangladesh support is coming in large numbers here at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. Shreyanka Patil has to walk back without scoring. That was too close to cut for her. That delivery went with the arm. Another wicket here for Bangladesh. 98 for 6. Coming wide of the wicket. Straighter. And it was all about you miss, I hit. And what a wicket this for Nahida.
Yeah, I don't think she was quite playing the percentages either. It's not like there was a large gap there on the offside. Maybe just playing for the turn. Second time she's taken a wicket with an arm ball. Kashvi Gautam walks in at 8. Again, that arm ball came from wide of the crease this time.
The way she's varying her pace with her deliveries, Nahida, and her length. Just getting the batters out of their comfort zone. This was just hurried. Too close to cut once again. Not the right length. She should be playing forward there, Kashvi. This time better. But finds the fielder. Yes, no. And they decide against a run. And that's the right decision.
And that run rate less than 6 runs and over. Ideally, they'd want to restrict India A to something in the region of 115. And if they can do that, I think we're going to get one heck of a contest yet again at the Emerging Teams Asia Cup. 2 balls left in the 17th. She comes down the track. Sneaks through for a single. Gets off the mark, but they need boundaries.
Gets to the other end. Gets Kanika back on strike, who's looked very good for her 15 runs. Now it's interesting. It'll be interesting to see the kind of play Kanika will adopt. Will she still want to attack? Or she'll just bide time and play till the 20th?
Actually, big gaps there on the leg side. Nobody in the circle, in fact, on the leg side. So an easy single if she just wants to retain strike for the next over. Last ball coming up. Oh, she's missed that. Lucky to get away with that. The keeper, Dilara Akhtar, should have done better. I think we're going to see a signal. Yes, 4 byes there. And 100 up for India as well. They're 103 for 6 after 17.
We've seen so many runs go that way. Bangladesh will be guilty of letting a lot of runs behind the wicket. Just not happy there, Nahida. Not impressed with the wicketkeeper, Dilara. 100 up for India A. Kanika living dangerously, but she's still continuing to play that aggressive innings that's needed in the middle. India continue to fight on despite the follow wickets.
Yeah, Bangladeshi fans not too happy with that. A lot of them pouring into the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground, outnumbering their Indian counterparts. But look, Hashan Tilakaratne, the head coach of Bangladesh, not happy with their 62 balls for the first 50, just 40 for the second 50. 2 drop catches, that missed stumping as well. A straight slog sweep down the ground. Lata Mondal doing a good job there at long on, keeps it down to 1. But like I said, Hashan Tilakaratne, he's going to be taking notes. A pair of drop catches, that missed stumping as well. And it can make a big difference, especially in this big final.
What I've liked about India's approach, despite the follow wickets, they've continued to play some very aggressive cricket, and that's come in very handy. You don't want to get into the shell. There again was that a miss-stumping. An opportunity gone a-begging. Dilara's not having the best of days behind the stumps, but Kanika certainly is chancing her luck.
You can take a look at that replay. Oh yeah, put it down. Should have been a very, very easy stumping. Kanika Ahuja. That's 2 lives for her in the space of just 2 deliveries. That's the 4th missed opportunity in this innings for Bangladesh. 4 balls left now in the 18th. Goes leg side again, a bit of a slog. Work to do in the deep for the fielder. Gets a strong throw in, keeps it down to 1. But Mikhail Another let off.
It's been an off day in the field for Bangladesh. A few catches dropped as well. But they've had their moments. They've grabbed it as well. They've let a few go. But in a big final, you need to grab even your half chances, they say. Over to Kashwi.
Down the track. Hasn't got all of it in the air. This time it's taken. Kashwi got them. The 7th wicket to fall for India A.
And finally, Sanjida gets a reward. Her first wicket coming in a 4th over. But that was a nothing shot. Kashwi just going for broke there. Threw a bat at it. And perishes. Straightforward catch lobbed at backward point. Tried to overhit it. Straightforward catch for Rabia there at backward point. Wicket number 7 goes for India A. Kanika at the other end telling her partner, get me on strike. That's my job. She walks back for 2. It's 105 for 7.
It's that P word, isn't it? Pendulum. The pendulum has swung yet again here at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. Tita Sadhu walks in at number 9. She's going to have a huge role to play with the ball. But can she get India beyond that 120, 125 mark? I get the feeling 125, 130 with runs on the board. India A would be favourites to clinch the trophy.
14 legal deliveries left. And Kanika would have told her partner, Titas, just get me on strike. We can still get some runs, get somewhere close to 115, 120. Plays it off the back foot, gets a single towards covers, off the mark as well, gets to the other end. And now it'll be interesting to see what does Kanika do. Does she take a single to retain strike or go for the big hit?
You've got to play it cool like MS Dhoni. Take it to the last over. As long as Kanika Ahuja is still there in the last over, she can get a couple of boundaries away and get India A to a potentially winning total. Last ball of her spell, Sanjida does well, shortens her length. It's tucked away in the leg side. Should just be a single. And yes, wisely, India A not chancing their arm. End of a good spell, 1 for 26 at the end of her 4 overs for Sanjida. 2 overs left, India 107 for 7.
Good start for India. Shweta was looking good, but she departed for 13. But the Chetri Vrinda partnership was key. Particularly Vrinda, she looked so good in the middle. She got a 36 of 29. After which Kanika has held the middle order and added a lot of metal as well. And she pretty much needs to bat till their end if they have to get to somewhere in excess of 120, 125. The low middle order just about capitulated, caved in. But now the next 12 deliveries will be key for India's progress in this innings of theirs.
It's not going to be easy to go big against Nahida. She tries to go big, that's high. Has she found the gap? It's running down to the boundary. The fielder at deep mid-wicket runs around, keeps it down to 2. And Ahuja's going to retain strike.
I just felt the fielder should have attacked the ball instead of going around it there in the deep. Just to ensure that they have Titas on strike. But there's always going to be 2. Just need to show some urgency there. Lata Mondal.
Bit of a hold up in play. She's just retying her shoelaces here. Kanika Ahuja. I think she's gathering her thoughts as well while she does that.
What a day of cricket it's been. Uninterrupted play. That's the biggest gain, biggest positive. Clear skies. Sun still playing hide and seek and some good cricket on offer.
2 for 9 so far. She's into her 4th over. Goes against the spin. This time, Kanika Ahuja. Just a single down to long off. And Bangladesh A won't mind this. It's the new batter, Tita Sadhu, on strike.
Interesting to see Nahida's reaction as well. She felt that was a catch. In fact, she was livid with the fielder in the deep. And after some time, she realizes that was never a catch. And it was only a 1 bounce regulation fielding effort. And she quickly acknowledged that as well. I tell you, bowlers always want wickets.
And Nahida Akhtar as well. She's a bit greedy, isn't she? 74 T20I wickets. This, of course, is not a T20I game. But Nahida, she doesn't care. She wants that third wicket, maybe a fourth as well. 4 balls left in her spell. Comes wide of the crease, slapped, straight to cover. They sneak through for a single as well.
Works for India as far as Kanika is on strike. She's batting on a very gritty 20 of 18. Expect some fireworks. She will launch herself into anything that's pitched up.
Again goes big, doesn't get all of it. There's work to do here for Long On, who this time attacks the ball. Rabia Khan, well done.
And I just felt Tita should have maybe pushed her partner for a second, maybe run that first run fast, because she was running at the danger's end. Nevertheless, runs coming in singles at the moment here for India.
So many strong parallels between Tita Sadhu and Jhulan Goswami. She can give it a whack as well. She's got the long levers. Picks up a single to deep cover.
Quite an interesting story there, Tita Sadhu. Her father himself an athlete, runs a cricket academy. She always wanted to be a cricketer, and she had a long chat with her parents saying, if I play cricket, it has to be for India. Very inspirational.
Moves across her stumps, misses that. An optimistic appeal. Oh, run out chance as well. Oh, sent back just in time there. But a good penultimate over. Let's take a look at this replay. It could have been another wicket, but she was sent back just in time. Good spell though from Nahida Akhtar. 2 for 13 in her 4 overs. She's been a pick of the bowlers so far. 1 over left. India 113 for 7. It's going to be Tita Sadhu on strike for the last over. Again, ooh, maybe a direct hit. Maybe if she was turned back just 1 second later, it could have been that 8th wicket.
So many times the difference is the direct hit. That could have easily been curtains to Kanika stay in the middle as well. Alright, we're all set for the final over. It's going to be Marufa Akhtar. Not had the greatest of match days, but she's a champion bowler. You'll expect a few slow deliveries coming in this final over. Tita Sadhu on strike. 113 for 7. Can they get past 120? Somewhere close to 125.
Bang, slapped, but straight to extra cover. Another dot ball there. And maybe she should have been backing up a little bit further, Kanika Ahuja. But I'm glad you called her a champion bowler. I was actually going to use the exact same phrase. Marufa Akhtar. Maybe lucky to get away with this. It was wide, it was slapped, but straight to extra cover.
I just felt the fielder was standing at the edge of the circle. There should have been a single for this. This time tries to overhit it. Finds a single towards mid-wicket. Brings Kanika on strike. Alright then, contest on the cards. Akhtar to Kanika. 4 deliveries left. Where will she be targeting?
I think she's answered that question. She's looking leg side again. Kanika Ahuja. And I think Marufa Akhtar, like you just signaled, Mikhail Vaswani, the best way to operate in this last over is roll your fingers over the ball, and hit that hard length, just back of a length. Try and get the batters to hit towards those longer square boundaries. Four balls left. Into the leg side. Good shot. She's found the gap as well. Splits the gap between deep mid-wicket and long on. 118 for 7. And could they get past that magical 120 mark?
Well, that's a very fine shot. She picked a spot very early. Was that the slow delivery that she picked up? Goes deep in the crease, uses the depth very well. Bisects the field in the deep as well, between mid-wicket and long on. These are valuable runs, let me tell you.
And Murshada Khatun out there in the deep. She was powerless to cut it off. 3 balls left. Playing a miss. Oh, in fact, I think she might have got an edge on that. We're waiting for the signal from the umpire, but the important thing is another boundary here for India A. What a good last over it is for them.
Back-to-back boundaries, one in front of the wicket, one behind. Dilara having a difficult day at office. That one really flew past her. She was slashing 4 more runs. And Maruf Akhtar as well has just had an off day. He's given away 31 in 22 deliveries. And India have crossed the 120 run mark.
That's a poor bit of glove work. Another reprieve for Kanika Ahuja. Slaps that down the ground. Down to long on, just a single. Oh, they're thinking about the second. Lucky for Bangladesh, the ricochet didn't travel too far. The only saving grace for them is Stitha Sadhu on strike for the last ball. 10 runs off the over already. Last ball of the innings coming up.
And you can sense that the Indian dugout is very upbeat about the score and the situation of theirs. All right, we're into the final delivery. Stitha Sadhu on strike, Marufa steaming in.
Last ball. Smashed down the ground straight. Oh no, a bit of a misfield. It's running down to the boundary. Is it going to get there? Absolutely. What a way to end for India A. 14 runs off that last over. And we've spoken about it before. Too many misfields from Bangladesh A.
Well, that sums up their day in the field as well. They've had a very ordinary afternoon. Stitha Sadhu with that 4 off the last delivery. Mostari Sobna there at mid-off just allowed it to go past her. And look at that. Elementary stuff, basic cricket. 3 fours coming in the final over. India putting themselves to a commanding total of 127 for 7. The Indian batting has stood tall and they've all produced the goods in the middle.
Yeah, right up there at the top. 22 for Uma Chaitri. Vrinda Dinesh, fantastic. 36 of 29. And in the middle, Kanika Ahuja just holding things together. 30 of 23. And Stitha Sadhu, beneficiary of that misfield off the last ball. 8 of 6. India A, 127 for 7 in their 20 overs.
Off day in the field for most of the fielders, but the batters stood tall for India. Just about showed great maturity and responsibility, played to situations. There was a plan and they stuck to it. It was caution with aggression for most part of it. Bangladesh A, Marufa, 36 in a 4 overs, went wicketless today. Sanjida as well, just a little expensive for her liking. Nahida, as always, miserly in a bowling effort. 2 for 13 for her, but she lacks support. Though Sultana did get 2 wickets, but she conceded 30. Rabia 1 for 14, ever impressive. But it's India who ensured that when they lost wickets, they didn't lose it in successive intervals. They ensured that they built small partnerships, and that worked in their favour. 9 extras here for Bangladesh, that proving as well a little costly. Nevertheless, it's been a very good batting effort by India, and it all began with Shweta Sehrawat and Uma Chaitri just about finding the boundaries very early in the power play. In front of the wicket, that was Uma Chaitri. She began with great aggressive mindset, and then Shweta Sehrawat as well took the attack to the opposition, used the feet, and there were some exquisite drives down the ground. Both the batters, the openers, looking very impressive. Shweta Sehrawat played all over it, tried to play that towards mid-wicket, only to find her bails rattled. That was Nahida striking very early. This is where Bangladesh pulled things back, but India had the slice of luck going their way, and runs kept coming.
Yeah, it was luck, but also a couple of drop catches from Bangladesh A. Rabia, she's pumped down the ground. This is one of those drop catches. Marufa Akhtar, the guilty party on this occasion. And Rabia, she struck back with a big scalp of Uma Chaitri. Nahida, ever dependable. Look at this shot though, over extra cover. They were so good peppering that extra cover region. India A, at this point we thought 130, maybe 140. Extra cover again. Brilliant lofted shot inside out. And then this happened. Down the ground and taken. This time by the fielder in the deep. Bit of a celebration, bit of a send-off. Sultana Khatun. She was pumped over mid-on by Kanika Ahuja. Marufa Akhtar. Look at that shot. Not much you can do as a bowler. And again, through extra cover. How many times am I going to say that? A bit of a let-off here. Dilara Akhtar, tough day behind the sticks for the wicketkeeper. And then they pulled things back, Bangladesh A, a flurry of wickets. Rabia as well created some pressure that led to this run out. India A and Shreyanka Patil, apologies, Soumya Tiwari on that occasion, departing for a run of ball 3. And this, Shriyanka Patil, playing all over an arm ball. Their spinners, they tried to drag things back. They didn't always receive the support of their fielders and the wicketkeeper. This time, that one was taken. Kept flirting with that 120, 130 mark, India A. And Kanika Ahuja in the last over getting this boundary away. And then this fortuitous outside edge that went for 4. And a needless misfield, conceding a bonus 4 runs there. 14 runs off the over for India A. 127 for 7. And you get the feeling that last over, that final push, has given them a bit of an edge in this contest. We're going to be back with you very shortly for the chase, where India A, Bangladesh A, need 128 to win at 6.4 runs and over to clinch the trophy. And it's all up in the air. Who's going to take home the trophy? Is it going to be India A? Is it going to be Bangladesh A? I'm going to be honest, I am not confident enough to make a prediction right now. But you get the feeling maybe India A with a slight advantage. They've got runs on the board. Got a strong bowling lineup as well. An in-form bowling lineup that bowled out Hong Kong for 34. Shriyanka Patil with a 5-for on that occasion. She had a fantastic WPL. They've got one of the best pacers up at the top as well in the form of Tita Sadhu. Kashvi Gautam with a bit of medium pace variety. So there you have it, a dramatic final day already at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. India A, they won the toss, they decided to bat first. I think it was the right decision, the logical decision as well. They started well, they lost some wickets through the middle. And then finally that 14-run final over. It could be the difference between victory and defeat. It might help them clinch the trophy. But look, at the end of the day, Bangladesh A, they've had a little more game time than India so far in this tournament. And Murshida Khatun, need I remind you, the left-hander, 57 not out. Still the highest individual score so far in this tournament. So she's in a bit of form. And they've got experience as well. Sobhana Mustari had a bad day in the field. But the right-hander, she can certainly go big. And of course, Lata Mondal also up at the top. She's got all that experience. Nahida Akhtar, that cameo yesterday, 21 off 16 for her. She was the player of the match for that all-round performance that she put in. So Bangladesh A by no means out of this contest. They've got a lot of support as well. More Bangladeshi fans than Indian fans in at this point in time. But they need a strong power play. At the very least, they can't afford a situation where they're losing too many wickets in the first 6 overs. The last thing you want is to be 3 down, 4 down inside the power play. It makes things very hard. It makes it very hard to come back into the contest as well. But India A, a lot of people considered them to be the pre-tournament favourites. And so far, at least, they've lived up to that tag. And you get the feeling, just about with their noses in front at this point in time. But it's so good to see good weather. The ground staff done a fantastic job as well, getting this outfield ready for these last 2 days at the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. The ground staff, the volunteers, they deserve a lot of credit. And don't forget, Hong Kong, of course, was blanketed by 4 consecutive amber rainstorms and a red rainstorm in the space of just 5 days. Every single day there was torrential rain. In spite of that, we're here, we're ready, we're bringing you the final, the fast outfield as well. And we're getting closer and closer to the first ball of that second innings. I'm Jay Dansagani, one of your commentators for the day. It's been a pleasure bringing you this broadcast so far. We're at the halfway stage. If you're just joining us, India, they won the toss, decided to bat first, posted 127 for 7. And maybe in a while I'm going to grab some lunch. Maybe my friend and fellow commentator Suhas Vedam will be hopping in behind the mic, offering us some thoughts, offering me a bit of break as well. I'd like to grab some of that naan and aromatic basmati rice as well, Suhas.
I have no clue what conversation I walked into right now.
Now, mate, Suhas, look, I think I'm sort of stating the obvious. India A, you get the feeling just about their noses in front in this contest.
Yeah, runs of the board is runs of the board, and that's what we've seen in the second semi-final as well.
Yeah, must be. We lost pictures.
You're waiting for pictures, yeah? Live pictures here.
Leg start. Yeah. Correct leg start. Coming right arm over to you. Play.
Tithas team again. Full marks for that effort. Still, that single will be possible. The chase is underway.
Leg start. Towards you. Little bit.
Slip in place for the swinging deliveries of Tithas.
5 more to come.
Now would she be testing the outside edge? First ball, she was able to make the batter drive with that length. Straight to the field this time. Dilara has been good enough behind the wicket today now to prove her point with the bat in hand in front of it. 127 required. Would have loved to be a fly on the wall at the halfway stage of the Bangladesh A camp and want to find out how that 128 was perceived. There is definitely runs to get on this surface though. Joined by Mikhail now. Welcome. In the air, but will fall just short. Excruciatingly short.
Oh yes, everybody were up on their feet, calling for catch. Kanika, she played a pivotal role with the bat, and certainly she had a chance as well. And the batter had her heart in her mouth. Let me tell you, Dilara needs to forget what happened behind the stumps. This was pitched up half-hearted, just got the toe end of the bat. Falling very short there. Bangladesh need to attack. They need to go out there with an aggressive mindset, just like how India played their cricket. No inhibitions in the mind. Free-flowing cricket.
Well tucked away. Protection in the deep will keep it down to a single. Excited to see the corridor that Sadhu wants to bowl in. So far she's bowled 3 on the off, 1 drifting down the leg. Watch out for that extra pace as well. How is Shati Rani going to react to it is another question altogether. They played extremely well, Bangladesh A, to get thus far. Oh, shot! Attacking at its best. Is Shati Rani. That's one way to deal with it.
Just goes to show how good the surface has become in the second innings. It's getting better to bat on if you're a pacer. The ball will nicely come onto the bat. That was pitched up. Just goes down on the knee, uses the field restrictions to her advantage and plays that over covers. But Shati Rani will hold the key if Bangladesh need to get into hot pursuit of the target of 128.
The idea is clear. Make the most of the first 6 overs. Attacking cricket at its best indeed. This time gentler, but not through the gap. Shati Rani with that single. Bangladesh aim move on to 7 without a wicket of the first over. It's a positive start for the women in green, the Tigresses.
A lot of batting in this Bangladesh A setup. Captain Lata Mandal slated to come in at number 3. There's Shobana as well. Murshida, watch out for her. Very strong left-handed batter, can get the runs. Nahida and Shanjida too. We saw Rabia as well adding a lot of muscle in the middle order, holding one end in the semis against Pakistan A. So they will be backing themselves. And at the moment, don't be surprised to see spin again very early. Mannat Kashyap there, the left arm spinner. This surface certainly helping spinners, and you want to slow things down in the middle.
And someone who doesn't shy away from taking the new ball. .3, the required rate to lift the trophy. Full toss to start with. Mannat gets it wrong, but there is protection in the deep. Be a little frustrated there. Shoti, who's already scored a shot through the offside, was so marvellous to watch as it went for 4. She would feel she's missed out on an opportunity here. A comfortable height full toss.
Oh yes, that was easy pickings. Juicy full toss. Could have gone anywhere. 2 fielders in the deep on the leg. Long on and deep mid wicket. 4 on the off inside the circle. So there's no one patrolling the deep on the offside. I'm sure Dilara has had a good measure of things in the middle.
Again, not the right line. At least a couple of runs written on it. Trisha gets to it.
Mannat just not finding her length and a line at this stage. She's bowled 2 deliveries. Fair to say these are looseners, but she'll have to get into that discipline mode as early as possible. You don't want to give easy runs. Both these batters are on the lookout, and as you mentioned, Suhas, the first 6 overs is what they're targeting.
In the air, but will fall safely. Not just that, it had enough venom to spin away from the fielder. Brenda gets the throw in. The first delivery that Mannat gets right. An opportunity generated.
Yes, it was in the air for a while, but had enough overspin on it to roll further and give them that extra run. Captain Shweta Sehrawat missed out with the bat today, but a very fine individual on and off the field.
Four inside the circle, 5 inside the circle on the off. That's a good ball. Dilara. The idea is also to throw caution to the winds. They're not going for a broke Bangladesh. They're waiting for the right deliveries to be put away, especially after the leading edge was taken in this over. Just as we say that, missing it completely, but Mannat doesn't. Middle of the middle stuff. This is marvellous to watch. So satisfying for Rainey's spinner.
Oh, Dilara's off day at work continues. Looking to go big, playing against the turn, only to find her bails shattered. She'll have to walk back. India strike in the second over. Nicely tossed up delivery. Spin imparted, turn imparted. And she gets the better of the batter. Mannat Kashyap strikes. India celebrate. Wicket number 1 knocked off. Bangladesh 12 for 1 in the second. And this is where Bangladesh need to be wary. That scoreboard pressure will keep coming back to haunt them. with every dot ball, but they'll have to really measure this chase of theirs. Dilara departs for 5. Shati's looking good. She's played an exquisite drive over covers for a 4. 116 now needed in 18.1. Shobhana Mostari in the middle. Another very fine batter. But India certainly on top at this stage, with a cushion of 120 plus runs, calling the shots in the middle.
Manath would have watched the other spinners bowl on this track in the first innings and would have assessed the right length perhaps to bowl on this one. More so the pace. 2 overs later, 12 for 1 Bangladeshi.
.116 needed in 18 overs, 12 for 1. Manath just accounted for an early wicket of Dilara. Bangladeshi just on the back foot. Tita Sadhu bowled the first. She will be bowling the second. Good to see the captain backing the frontline pacer. Gave away 7 runs in her first, but certainly has enough skill and quality to come back.
Yeah, the bowler going up in appeal, but also pulling out of it at the same time.
Anything on the pads, it's the bowler's right to go up for an appeal. That's the dressing room of Bangladesh.
Lata Mondal, absolutely stoic. Natithas, can she do her idol proud here? Chulan Goswami. Hit well. And it's also racing away quickly. And now it loses steam. A lot of running to do for not just the batters, Trisha too. Shweta's quite content that it didn't go for 4.
And strangely, this is the first time I'm seeing the ball stop at the boundary. Otherwise, it's been a very fast outfield today. And it's raced away. It's the first time it actually went and completely stopped at the ropes.
Did she not put that much bat percentage on it? Why did it happen? Because outfield's been lightning quick on all sides. Surely as a batter trying to chase down this much in a final, you do not want the outfield to be the 12th fielder. Just checking if it was clean enough, that pickup, and the fingers did not touch the cushion, as there was very little space between the ball and the cushions.
By the end of it, they managed 2. What should have easily been a 4 as well. These things matter.
What does it tell you, Shruti's stance, especially the way she holds the bat? Is it suggesting that she's going to be leg side dominant, even though that shot through the offside was sensational to watch?
Relying heavy on the bottom hand as well. That's because you just want to improvise and go over the infield in the first 6 overs. There again, into the pads, just trying to overhit it, finding the fielder. Dot balls will certainly mount as pressure. Good comeback here by Titas after conceding 7 in her first over. She's conceded 2 in 4.
Yeah, learnt a lot of tricks from Rumeli Dhar as well. It's just marvellous to watch in the Bengal Women's T20 Challenge, winning the tournament. And of course, the scoop shots is something that was more talked about than her bowling itself. But the economy was excellent, under 3, I still remember that. Oh, that's through the offside. A dive in despair, but the ball will win. Tithas cannot believe it. But Shruti Rani is able to get the boundary that she so well deserved.
Oh yes, and once again the opportunity was presented by Titas. Another ordinary full delivery on the off at a good height and length. Just about through a bat. It was in the areas, diving effort there. Would have certainly been a spectacular catch had that been taken. But such deliveries end up being punished more often than not. And Titas just not been able to find her rhythm this morning.
Oh, good ball. That's a good comeback. Options are limited when the ball is hitting the toe end of the bat like that. 3 overs gone. Bangladesh get a move on though. 18 for 1.
Maintaining 6 and over at this stage, Bangladesh. That should be the template. Don't let that asking rate climb. Mannat to continue. A wicket in the first over. A wicket of Dilara. Subhana still to get off the mark. He's been around for a while.
While she was absorbed in the appeal, Mannat soon realized she might have to accept the courier on the non-strikers end.
That was always going down leg, just ambitious in her appeal. That's when she realizes she needs to get behind the stumps.
Yeah, only if our game allowed 6 stumps. Should be taken. Should be easy. Mannat Kashyap has picked up another. What a comeback.
Soft dismissal. I'll tell you what. That was short and wide. It was turning. Shati committed into the shot. Gave the charge. Was nowhere close to it. That's simple as it gets for Mannat Kashyap. Wicket number 2 for her. Shati Rani departs for 13. Both the openers back in the dugout. And Bangladesh in deep, deep trouble in this chase. In the big final, it's 19 for 2.
Captain Lota Mondol
Pulling left arm round, 4 to go.
needs to play a captain's innings to bail her team out of the situation. Perhaps 2 wickets is at max is what they would have thought in the first 6 if they have to lose while going for glory. You have to lose 2 wickets, it's okay. 3 and you can set the cat amongst the pigeons. And this is why Lota Mondol is in the middle. Mannat Kashyap bowling nice and wide. And in the end had to offer the shot as well, because had she left it, would have been an easy stumping for Ruma Chhetri. Single not awarded as well. Pressure mounting.
And that's why winning the toss in a big final like this is so important. You suddenly realize that when you're chasing in a situation like this, it just gets all the more difficult. Here again, Lata Mondol eager to get off the mark. Just wants to get to the other end. 2 batters who are batting or not, just goes to show. How difficult it has become. Shot and wide, cut away. What an effort. Get some fingers on it, but that will travel for a 4. Full marks for the intent. Execution, the chest missing, but nevertheless, good break-free shot here by Lata Mondol.
Yeah, what a way to start the innings, isn't it? Put the pressure back on the opposition. She's one of the best players on the side when it comes to the cut shot as well, Lata Mondol. That one she got right up her alley. Shati Rani, 13 of 11. Dilara, 5 of 7. Both of them back in the hut. No surviving opener. There's Shobana and Lata to steady the ship. Shobana yet to open the account. Lata does so with a brilliant shot for 4.
Bangladesh just losing that momentum. India retort to pace. Kashvi Gautam will bowl the 5th. Good start for a tentative there. Bangladesh, they have to attack. At the same time, they cannot lose wickets. They need to build partnership at a brisk rate. It's the big final. 105 needed in 95. That asking rate will keep climbing. No better time to welcome my friend and commentator, Jay Dansinghani.
Yep, thanks, Mikhail. That boundary of the last ball of the previous over, so important for Bangladesh. They're behind the required rate at this stage, and they've lost 2 wickets as well. We spoke about this earlier in the broadcast. You don't want to be losing early wickets inside the power play, and unfortunately that's exactly what's happened here for Bangladesh. Wide delivery, we're waiting for the signal, and yes, a bit of exercise for the umpire, and an extra run for Bangladesh.
The conditions have certainly got good for batting, Jay. Sun-baked surface. But the spinners certainly on this surface will make merry. We've seen it yesterday. We saw it early in the day as well with Bangladesh bowling. India winning the toss, batting first, got to 127 for 7 in this final. This tournament has been marred by weather conditions and rain, but so good to see the final taking place and a full game as well. Coming to you live from the Tin Kwong Recreation Road ground for the one final time. And what a wonderful effort this has been from the Asian Cricket Council and Cricket Hong Kong. A first of its kind, the inaugural Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2020 tournament, and a platform that will certainly act as a springboard to the aspirations of many under-19 cricketers and cricketers who are knocking the doors for selection in the senior team.
A great opportunity as well for players like Kashvi Gautam, the medium pacer bowling her first over here. Penultimate over of the power play. Sobana yet to get off the mark. Will she target that straight boundary? Good sound off the bat, but straight to Kanika Ahuja. And it's so important as well. After picking up 2 early wickets, at the very least, you keep the runs down.
And what I really like about Shweta Sehrawat's captaincy is she realizes the pacers are easy to play off. 2 new batters in the middle, and she's getting her pacers to bowl to the new batters just to ensure that they get their overs done, because the spin aspect will come in very handy.
Mistimed, straight to mid-wicket. I think she was looking for that straight boundary you were talking about. It's a little bit inside edgy there, my Sobana Mustari. But a tough start for her, scoreless off her first 6 balls.
There again, just trying to overhit it, like the body language of the Indian fielders this afternoon. They have been very sharp and alert within the 30-yard circle. Sobana still to get off the mark.
Wide, slashed away. Gets a hand to that, but it's not going to be enough to stop the boundary. First boundary there for Sobana. So severe on that short wide delivery.
That's why when pacers are in operation, the batters seem to be finding the gaps at ease, using the pace sometime. The ball nicely coming, this one short and wide, cut away to good effect. Backward of point. Sobana off the mark with a 4. Bangladesh fighting on.
Better, much better. There from Kashvi Gautam. 5 runs off the over. 28 for 2 after 5. Look at that bowling card. Both wickets falling to left arm spinner Mannat Kashyap. She was so good at the Under-19 World Cup. Very good against Hong Kong. And picking up exactly where she left off. And I wonder, is she going to get another over? Maybe. Are we going to see someone like Shreyanka Patil come into the attack? Shweta Sehrawat ring in the changes. Missed out with the bat, 13 off 20. It looked like maybe she was set for a big score, but then a bit of dot ball pressure, and then she lost her wicket, played all around a straight one from Nahida Akhtar. And yes, just as we said, Shreyanka Patil, the off spinner, the headline act against Hong Kong, comes into the attack. 28 for 2. She's got a slip in position as well. First ball for Shreyanka. Oh, that's down the leg side. Slip is not going to come into play like that.
Interesting to see she's bowling around the wicket. I just wonder what's the reason behind it. Maybe creating an angle and bring the slip into play as well. But she got all her wickets in her last game from over the wicket. So just wonder why this change of guard.
Oh, yeah, that's why. That's why. Gets one to spin in viciously to Lata Mondal. And the skipper's been bowled by Shreyanka Patil. 29 for 3, Mikhail.
Oh, isn't she a superstar? Introduced into the attack and gets a wicket off a second delivery. The batter plays on. India celebrates. Shreyanka strikes. It's all going one way at the moment. Captain Lata Mondal has to depart for 4. India calling the shots. Trying to get that 1 foot across the finishing line in this big final. It's 29 for 3.
Yeah, she picked up a wicket from around the wicket against Hong Kong as well, against Marina Lamplau. Got one to drift back in, spin back in to defeat that sweep shot from Marina. And this time, vicious spin into Lata Mondal. She chops on. So Shreyanka Patil, that's her 6th wicket in the competition. And imagine that, it's taken her 1 legal delivery to make an impression on that scorecard. She missed out with the bat, has not missed out with the ball so far. And coming into bat at number 5 amidst all this chaos is the left-hander Murshida Khatun.
And I'm sure Shreyanka Patil will say, not a bad time for a left-handed batter to come in as well, with the pitch turning square, a slip in place and a wicket up her sleeve in only her first delivery. Everything going Shreyanka's way, and if she can induce an edge from here as well, it'll be an icing on the cake. Here we go.
Can she get another? Oh, keep spinning like that, she might just pick up more wickets. That's a brutal delivery to get first ball.
So much of control in her bowling. Uncomplicated action, great rhythm, imparting great revs on the ball.
Oh, this time a little bit straighter, fuller, quicker. And she's weaving a web of magic on Bangladesh.
Just how wonderfully she's thinking as well and playing with the mind of the batter. Playing for the turn, I'll go straight. You play for the arm delivery, I'll get that to turn.
Oh, bit of flight this time. She's got the ball on a string. How long before Shreyanka Patil plays for India?
Oh, she's got a bag full of tricks, let me tell you. And with an attacking field, she's always going to be a threatening proposition for her rivals.
And not easy for an uncapped player to make an impression in a league as competitive as the WPL. So consistent in most of the games, picking up 1 or 2 wickets at least. Shreyanka Patil made some contributions with the bat as well during the WPL. She's closing out the power play so well. Last ball of the power play, quicker one. End of the power play, 29 for 3, Suhas Vedam. He's got a special guest for us.
चल यार टीम चल चल पास भी चल शाबाश या पास में चेंज बॉल है कमिंग राइट आर्म ओवर बैक सेवन चल 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 यार टीम कम ऑन यहां से 7 की बात है बॉल चल चल आ रहे और एक आएगा
Leg spinner Parshvi Gautam introduced into the attack. Very good start for her. What I've liked about Shweta Sehrawat, the captain, she's persisting with that slip. She knows she has the luxury of runs. Her bowlers are bowling to her field. She's saying we need wickets, and she's attacking from the word go. She had a slip for Shriyanka and now for Parshvi as well.
Oh, beautiful. The leg spinner, drift in, turn away, bringing that slip into play as well. We got Shweta Sehrawat, the captain, down at long off, and Suhas, this time he's ready.
We've got with us Apurva Desai, the batting coach of India A Women. Warm welcome, and tell us a bit about this performance today. More drives or more cuts?
Definitely more cuts on that wicket, because I think it's a slow wicket and there's a lot of turn also into the wicket. So it's about hanging back into the crease and waiting for the ball. I think the batters did a good job. 130 was a par score, so we're close to that. I'm sure the bowlers will get it through it.
Anything specific that you had to work on to adjust to conditions here in Hong Kong?
Yeah, absolutely. It was the wicket and the outfield, because you have to run your runs. The ball doesn't travel on the outfield. Obviously, the rain's not helped, and the wickets have got a bit of bounce and it's slow. So, like I said, we have to play a bit square through the wicket and work through the ball. A lot of spinners bowling. So we need to attack whenever it's possible, set them up for that shot.
And how do you see the evolution in the game as the batting coach? Because there are a lot of supplementary sheets added to the proper copybook.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I mean, if you look at these girls, they know that if they get a boundary of the first couple of balls, they'll push hard.
Yeah.
There are a lot of high 10-12 run overs if you see. So I think it's changed a lot over the last 10 years, and then it's slowly penetrating into the women's game as well. And yes, I mean, nowadays the scoop or the reverse sweep, they're pretty much book shot. So you can't call them innovations anymore.
Well, thank you so much for talking to us. Very succinct.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Apur.
Thank you, Suhas. And a 4 as well, coming in at just the right time. Just drifting down leg, going that sweep. Very fine. Shobna Mostari and Apurva Desai, the batting coach of India, talking about just about improvising and getting the scoops and all coming in, which we did see earlier in the day. Brinda Dinesh with a lovely scoop, getting a 4 over the keeper's head. That's something most batters practice.
Last ball coming up. Oh, a little bit too wide. Lucky there's cover in the deep. Keeps it down to 1. So it started as a promising over, but after that boundary, 6 runs have come off it, 7 rather. It's 36 for 3 after 7 overs. Going at close to 6 runs and over. I don't think the run rate is much of an issue. Rather just over 5 runs and over. But the issue really is that wickets column. 3 wickets have fallen so far. Shriyanka Patil taking some time to set her field. And I think India A know as well. They can take a couple more quick wickets. They can put this game to bed.
You spoke about 3 wickets, 3 top order wickets in a tense chase, Jay. That's what's hurting Bangladesh at the moment. And India has been very, very on target this afternoon. It's exactly what I mentioned when I say on target. Just not giving anything away. No erring in line or length.
Oh, absolutely, Shriyanka Patil. A wide off her first delivery, but since then she's been practically flawless. Coming around the wicket again. Down the ground. Long on. We'll keep it down to 1. And that's the order of the day as well for this Shweta Sehrawat-led unit. Dots and ones. If they can do that for the next 4 or 5 overs, just deprive Bangladesh A of those boundaries. We're going to see that required rate skyrocket to 8, 9, maybe 10 runs and over.
Shobna and Murshida just about finding momentum here and getting into the act of finding runs. Has that got the outside hits? Yes, it has. Shriyanka strikes once again. We spoke about that in the previous over. This time around, she gets the ball to turn away from the left-hander. Half-hearted, tossed up, gentle push, and just about finds the edge.
Yeah, she went fishing there, Murshida Khatun. That in-between length as well made things very hard. And that's the end of Murshida Khatun, the dangerous Murshida Khatun. 1 of 7. And that's the end of her tournament with the bat. Now she's just a spectator in the dugout. Remains to be seen who walks in at number 6. But whoever walks in at 6 has one heck of a job to do, one heck of a mountain to climb. Sobhana Mustari, the good thing for them. And her, she's still there. 11 not out of 15. And Suhas Vedam has got another guest with us. Shorna Akhtar walks in at 6. Suhas Vedam just getting ready. Shorna Akhtar getting ready as well. But a big moment in the game. Another wicket. Shriyanka Patil. Three balls left in the 8th. Oh, again threatening that inside edge. Nearly. And that's why Shorna Akhtar is here. In fact, that's the replay. That required rate, like we were saying, skyrocketing to around 7.5 runs an over. 7.38 to be exact. Straight. Dot ball, a familiar result. Suhas Vedam with a special guest.
Of India A Women. Warm welcome. Thank you for talking to us, Shubhadeep. Tell us a bit about this of not taking a start of the 5th and 6th ball, especially the fielders inside the circle.
Actually, it's the dynamics of the game. So exactly what the batters are thinking of. Either they are going for a big hit or thinking all singles. So you have to be sharp in mind so that you can react accordingly what the mindset is going on the batters.
120 odd, you're trying to make it look like 140 thanks to the fielding effort, they say. How well have you covered the angles and how much preparation was put into understanding the dimensions of Tim Kwong Recreation Ground?
Because this is a different ground because we have been practicing in Bangalore. This is a fast outfield, but this is slightly different. The outfield is not so quick, so we have to adapt to the situation and positioning themselves so that they can stop the singles as well as stop the boundaries as well. So cutting the angles is very important, whichever ground you play. Yeah.
You've been with the team for about 2 years now, especially that fantastic tour of South Africa where you came back victorious. Tell us a bit about the diaries that you keep piling up. How many columns are there? You seem to be scribbling so many things there. Tell us a bit about that.
I think every fielding coaches does these things. There are a lot of columns we can fill up definitely. So this is the one area I think because fielding is also a part where you can dictate all those things, small things, maybe clean pickup, runouts, direct hits, all those things. So we have to encourage all those players doing what they are doing in the matches, so that we can improve definitely in all department.
And finally, a word on what's gone on so far. Are you happy with the fielding effort?
I would not say I'm so happy, but it's getting better, definitely. Yes, getting better.
A coach can never be satisfied, can he? But thank you so much for talking to us.
Thanks.
Thanks, Suhas. The plot continues to thicken. 39 for 4. 4 balls left in the 9th. Oh, a bit of a friendly full toss. Ease through the offside. Work to do in the deep. The fielder in the deep keeps it down to 1. They've been good in the field so far, India A.
And their fielding coach, who was in conversation with Subhadeep Ghosh, can be proud of the effort put in by the girls as well. They've done a spectacular job in the field. Agile, athletic, putting in the dives and slides. And as Suhas rightly pointed out, made that total of 120 look like 140 thanks to their fielding effort.
Bangladesh A, not for the first time, unable to capitalize on a full toss. And I wonder how much of a factor are those drop catches and missed opportunities for Bangladesh A in that first innings. And of course that 14-run final over just swung the pendulum in the favor of India A. Ooh, just maybe reading that off the pitch instead of out of the hand. Shobhana, she's still at the crease though, 14 not out.
You don't want to play in the crease. You don't want to get stuck inside the crease, particularly to Parshvi or Shriyanka. Shobhana just in two minds. Go forward, go back. She's this time she uses the depth. Hits it towards mid-wicket. Shriyanka will do the fielding. They keep it to 1. 9 gone. It's 42 for 4.
Look at that required rate. At the start of the innings, it was 6.4 runs and over. It's ballooned to 7.82 runs and over. At the same stage, India A were 47 for 2. Bangladesh, they're 42 for 4. Only a difference of 5 in terms of runs, but the wickets column, that's what gives India A a huge advantage right now. And India A as well, you get the feeling a stronger batting lineup than their Bangladeshi counterparts. They bat deeper. India, someone like Kanika Ahuja with a 30-odd towards the end of that innings really helped give India A some impetus. Speaking of Kanika Ahuja, she comes into the attack to bowl the 10th over. And after this over, we're going to take a short break for drinks. Or rather, the players are going to take a short break. We're still going to be with you to recount everything that's happened so far in a very eventful first 9 overs. But Kanika made a key contribution with the bat, did the left-hander. Shobhana, look at those eyes, look at that concentration. It's a wide half volley to kick off her spell. But lucky there's a deep cover. Vrinda Dinesh keeps it down to 1.
But somebody will have to take charge now in the middle because that asking rate seems to be just climbing every ball. Singles is not going to hurt India. And that's why Bangladesh have to find someone with the big hits. There goes one. It's airy as well and it goes the distance. That's been drilled over the mid-wicket region just as we were talking. Shorna has produced a very fine hit.
Yeah, shot of the innings, no doubt. Didn't even run for that, Shorna Akhtar. 49 for 4. And they desperately needed that. I wonder if this is a deliberate attempt to go after Kanika Ahuja. Look at that elevation, distance. Amazing. Easily clearing the ropes there. 4 balls left in the over. Bang down the ground. Should just be 1, but 50 up now for Bangladesh. 50 for 4. We're halfway through the 10th over.
Well, the fight is on. Something that'll be hurting Bangladesh at this stage is that wickets column. And they had the luxury of 2-3 more wickets with them. This time short and wide. She'll have to re-bowl that. 77 of 63, 6 wickets in hand. It's all about handling pressure and believing you can chase it down as far as Bangladesh is concerned.
Down the track, not quite to the pitch of it, and it's taken in the deep. Kanika Ahuja, what a comeback, and it's that player again, Shriyanka Patil. You cannot keep her out of the game.
And she perishes, Shobhana, in a bid to accelerate and find the big hits. She got a 6. 2 deliveries earlier. This time around, challenged the fielder Shriyanka Patil at long off. Didn't quite get the distance on it. Was not in position as well. Comfortable catch taken, and look at that for celebration. Bring it on, says Shriyanka Patil. She is quite a character, let me tell you, in the field, and certainly half the side back in the dugout. Shobhana departs for 16 and 22. It's 51 for 5.
And what a way to head into the drinks break as well for India A. There's plenty of thinking to do here for Hashan Tilakaratne and Shorna Akhtar. Shorna getting a pat on the back from Hashan Tilakaratne, the Sri Lankan legend. Averaged more than 40 runs with the bat in Test match cricket. Harshan Tilak Ratne, the head coach of the national team, the head coach of Bangladesh A as well. But I don't think he's too happy about this situation. The summary so far, 127 for 7 in that first innings for India A, but 14 runs coming in that final over. Bangladesh A, they're 51 for 5 so far with 2 balls left in the 10th over. They need 77 of the final 62 balls. And here's the inning so far. Chitta Sadhu could have picked up that first wicket, landing just short of the fielder. But then a few boundaries. Bangladesh A, we were thinking, is this a good, tidy start? But no, Mannat Kashyap doing Dilara, disturbing a timber. Again, another boundary. Again, some hope for Bangladesh A. And again, Kashyap dashing those hopes. This was a bit of a nothing shot. A very soft dismissal and an indication of the nature of this surface as well. This boundary, the last ball of the 4th over. At this stage, they were 23 for 2. And they were looking better. They looked like they were just fighting their way back in the game. But then this happened. Lata Mondal chopped onto her stumps. Big celebrations from the Indians. And Shreyanka Patil, she was not quite done in spite of this boundary conceded by Parshavi Chopra. There'd be more success. Caught behind Murshida Khatun, the top scorer for Bangladesh so far in this tournament. That was a massive, massive scalp. Kanika Ahuja, she was put away, swept away rather, over deep mid-wicket for 6. And then this happened. The big, big wicket of Sobhana Mustari, who hold out to Shreyanka Patil.
Bangladesh in this chase have tried hard, but they've just lost wickets at regular intervals, and that's hurt them. Once again, they find a mountain to climb. This one going with the arm. Everyone amongst wickets for India. Shreyanka, Mannat, and now Kanika as well. Just the pacers not finding success, but the spinners rightly so getting into the act.
Last ball of the 10th. That's pushed down the ground for an easy single. Nahida Akhtar, player of the match yesterday, gets off the mark. At the halfway point, Bangladesh A, they're 52 for 5. They need 76 more in the final 10. We're going to have a change in commentary. I'm going to rest my vocal cords, maybe chew on a lozenge. Suhas Vedam, welcome to the Combox.
Your wicket, Jalsabash!
Well, India have been very tidy this afternoon with the ball. They've defended the runs the way the bowling coach and fielding coach would have wanted them to do. And Suhas did have a discussion with both of them, and sure, Suhas, you'll have a certain anecdotes to share with us. But at the moment, Parshvi in a third, looking very good one yet again. Just as I say that, she gets one down leg.
The only anecdote perhaps is with Mr. Ghosh, who's absolutely busy, but still was kind enough to make time for that interview. As is India's fielding, he has a lot of columns to fill, and I'm very surprised by the metrics that he uses for every fielder and the specialist positions that he's created. 53 for 5, Bangladesh A. How impressive has Parshvi been so far? But not even close to the efficacy that she was able to provide against Hong Kong. As soon as it went past her, you knew it was going to be a single.
And these are deliveries that the Bangladesh batters need to really get scoring runs out of. That's because now the asking rate will soon touch 8. That is the full delivery. Ideally, you want to find the gaps and get a boundary out of it. It goes for a single. It would have been a dot ball Had Parshvi fielded it as well. Shorna and Nahida looking for that expansive heave. Misses it completely. Lot of turn once again.
74-56 now. A complete team person, Soumya. Usually loves the slip position. Wanted that single, but at a different time when compared to the non-striker.
And now the required rate going over 8. Every dot ball will present a pressure situation for the chasing side.
Something had to give. Second line of defense, Vrinda. She's got a good throwing arm too.
And how good was she with the bat? Another fine over here by Parshvi. She completes a third. 11 gone. It's 55 for 5.
Bowling, left arm, around.
55 for 5, and the route they've taken have had speed breakers to get a 55. 12, 19, 29 for 3. Just that India haven't allowed the recovery phase to last much for Bangladesh. And now they're getting into a zone where someone has to bat out of their skin to first reduce the gap between the bat and ball. The runs and the balls. 73-53, now 20. Kashyap keeping it slow and out of reach of the batters. Not a bad ploy at all, Mikhail.
Yes, she's mixing it up really well. I expect one loop delivery just about middle and off. Just inviting the batter to go for the big hit. It's like the way they've all come out this afternoon, the Indian bowlers, to a plan. Thinking bowler Manath Kashyap.
This time lets it go, and rightly so, Shorna. Even the last one that spun so much that had she not offered the bat to it, would have been a wide.
Very sensible, smart operator. That's the tossed up delivery in the air. Simple catch. Wicket number 6 goes. Manath strikes once again. Bangladesh staring down the barrel. India inching closer to a famous win.
Once again, it's not from the middle of the bat. The leading edges are landing in the lap of the Indian fielders, and that's a problem for Bangladesh. Soumya this time pouching it so simply. The raw says it. In fact, the raw says everything that it is there to be said. Shorna departs for 9 as she tries to up the ante. Perishes in the process. Manath has picked up 3 out of the 6 that have gone far. 72 or 51 now. Equation's getting tighter. More responsibility on Nahida. Manath is churning out figures that she'll be proud of. 3 for 10 in the 15 deliveries that she's bowled so far.
Well, India have got it right from the toss. Ever since Shweta Sehrawat won the toss, everything has gone her way. Rabia, she can bat as well. We saw it last evening. But in context of the situation, this time around, it'll have to be a different role.
Would be wide. That would have been a good delivery to a left-hander on the adjacent pitch, do you think? But it's turning so much. It is so good to see the turn.
It's not a bad ploy, Suhas. If you go to understand what's going through Manath's mind, and that's the delivery that actually induced the wicket, because you have to reach out to the ball that's leaving you. You're playing across the line.
Absolutely right. Just joking. This one was straight to the captain. Manath Kashyap, what a story. Imagine starting off as a pacer, then changing into a Chinaman. Then the finger spinner. And picking up wickets for India and beyond.
And she's certainly become the captain's go-to bowler in pressure situations. bowling the second over in the power play, picking up wickets, introduced into the middle overs, picking up wickets again. That's what you call a captain's bowler.
That's a leading edge, but will fall safely. Much to the delight of Rabia, who's now opened her account. Oh, it's no ball. Even if it would have gone to hand of the fielders, it wouldn't have mattered. And would be a free hit to Mannat. How's she going to come out of this? Is it going to be nice and slow and loopy? Because, oh yes, she's overstepped there. It's a very good call by the umpire. What do you think this one would be fired in, as the catching aspect of it is suspended?
There again, she'll have to re-bowl that. The free hit remains. Just trying to play with the batter's mind. Wants to bowl it far and wide, induce the batter into the drive, produce an edge or a stumping opportunity. Mannat's overthinking maybe at this stage.
But she's just keeping her stock delivery so well in use. Oh, she's saying free hit or otherwise. The plan doesn't change. 12 overs gone. A successful over for Mannat and India A. 60 for 6 Bangladesh A.
61 for 6. Taking 67 to win the last 8 overs.
Shabash.
61 for 6 Bangladesh A at the end of 12. Just what India A wanted. 2 new batters at the crease at this stage of the game. 67 required of 48. In T20 terms, it's very much possible. But it's the wickets column that's ticked by too much, and Parshvi is still testing the outside edge of the batter. With minimum turn, maximum discomfort. Wonderful turn, as I'm joined by Jay Dhansinghani in the comm box. This one didn't turn at all, but it'll go through the fielder at point. After that conversation with Mr. Ghosh, my mind just goes back to the number of columns that he'd be filling. Oh, the rain has picked up. This is not a good sign. The rain has picked up. As soon as the rain picks up, you sense that there's 15 to 20 people ready to scurry with the covers. Hope it goes away soon. Straight back to Parshvi. The spinners have woven a web already. Jay?
Yeah, no doubt spin was always going to be a big factor in this contest. And at the very least, if they haven't been taking wickets, they've been keeping the runs down. Parshvi Chopra, 3 balls left in her spell. Oh, still 3 deliveries left. A rare mistake, just as I was talking up Parshvi Chopra. But look, at the end of the day, a great bowling effort so far from India A.
Very short spell of rain, actually. Now things have cleared up as far as the sky is concerned. Otherwise, you would see the printers go tick, 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 tick with the DLS method being, those sheets being printed, ball by ball perhaps. 65 or 45. Now 64 with that wide delivery. Parshvi. It's a good time to come in and bowl. You can give that extra bit of flight as well, isn't it? But not this time. It was a half tracker. Work to do for the fielder in the deep. Ah, the question is, if the rain picks up again, Jay, you might find Bangladesh A in 2 minds. Whether to attack too much, because taking it deep might have a different definition altogether with the rain threat. In simple terms, are they looking at 62 or 44 or less? What does the weather say?
I tell you what, it just feels like a bit of a drizzle. Nothing too serious at this point. Hopefully just passing clouds. But coming back to your point about taking it deep. I mean, there's only so deep you can take it. There's only so late you can leave it. Bangladesh A, they need a few boundaries here just to ease some of that pressure. Last ball of the spell for Parshvi. Turns that into a full toss. Rabia, but misses out on it. A dot ball to close out her spell. A good spell. 20 in her 4 overs. It's all sixes for Bangladesh A. 66 for 6 after 13. And in fact, it looks like we are going off for rain. I think it's only going to be a brief delay here at the Tin Kwang Road Recreation Ground. It's coming down a little bit harder here, but I still see some bright spots in the sky. But look, at the end of the day, India A well ahead of that DLS equation right now.
That's true. Bangladesh would want a full game. They want the passing clouds to pass by very quickly. What do they do? Everyone's scurrying. Covers of different colors are now being laid out. I can promise you that. And the sun is shining bright, but still the clouds are not in a good mood. What do we do?
And just as we put the covers on, the rain's actually just abating a little bit. It's calming down a tad. And you're right. The sun's coming out. The sun is right there to our left. So like we predicted, I think it's just going to be a passing shower. But let's take a look at the innings so far.
Good attempt there by Kanika. It didn't carry. And Tithas missed her mark. Shoti Rani doesn't miss out on opportunities of that kind. This was, for me, one of the best wickets for a spinner. Indian fielders did throw themselves around. But then Manat Kashyap generating that top edge first and cleaning it up herself. And that just got her started. Lata started off with a beautiful shot of this kind, but they needed Lata to stay there, Bangladesh A.
Yeah, they didn't need this from Shreyanka Patil. What a spell. The off spinner yet again, making an immediate impact. Barshavi drifted onto the pads. That was one of the few mistakes she made in an otherwise tidy spell. Shreyanka, the wicket taker again. This one, Murshida Khatun nicking through to a elated Uma Chaitri. Kanika Ahuja was slogged away over deep mid-wicket, but then she came back strong. A big wicket of Sobhana Mostari. You get the feeling it was a bit premeditated, and she found Shreyanka Patil. Look at that. Getting the crowd into it as well, Shreyanka Patil. And that 6th wicket just now.
Yes, Soumya was never going to drop that. The dark clouds in the background, but India would want to see the silver lining.
Yeah, I think the dark clouds are actually moving away from the ground because it has stopped raining here at the Tin Kwang Road Recreation Ground. At least towards us in the commentary box and the Argyle Street end, it's a little bit brighter. And a bright day as well for India A.
Absolutely right. 127 for 7, India. Winning the toss, choosing to bat first. Vrinda providing a lovely 36 with the bat in hand. Kanika unconquered rather. 30, not out of 23. 66 for 6 now, Bangladesh A in 13 overs. Manna 3 for 15, standing out with that brilliant performance. Shreyanka's 2 for 2 in 2 overs is unreal figures as she continues to pick up wickets. Hong Kong's one of her favourite places to play cricket, and I'm absolutely sure of that. Bangladesh A needs 62 of 42 at the moment. And the good news is that the covers are going off. The rain has abated.
It's a bright sunny day here at the Tin Kwang Recreation Ground, and we have with us Tommy Wong, event and PR manager, but we like to call him the all-rounder. Welcome, Tommy. Thank you for having this chat with us.
Yeah, good to see you, and nice weather finally, like here.
Yes, absolutely. I heard that you're dreaming about sawdust, carpets.
Yeah, because for a few days, you know, bad weather in Hong Kong, but yeah, we make it. We can play the semi-final and final now. Like, really good weather to play cricket today, I would say.
Would love to know more about the team and the way you prepared them for all the different situations that arose, but eventually the game happened.
Yes, and I know that as you can see, like all the groundsmen and all the staff, they are really hardworking, and everyone is want to make the game happen. So I hope the teams are enjoying, and I hope the audience are enjoying to watch the match also.
And Tommy, when an event of this stature comes to Hong Kong, the world looks at you, isn't it? How much of a difference does it make to the cricket culture over here?
For Hong Kong, like the cricket culture is not that like really popular in Hong Kong, I would say. But for now, like we have more and more international tournaments in Hong Kong, so that's why it makes like more public will increase their awareness, and for sure of ACC tournaments and even like maybe Fair Break or some kinds of other T20 and ODI tournament in Hong Kong. So I would say if more tournaments happen in Hong Kong, so you can see the crowded and also the public, when also maybe the local media, they will focus more on the cricket. So I think it's really good for the Hong Kong cricket development.
Just one more word on the weather, and how happy are you looking at the sky today? It's blue.
Oh, I would say I'm so happy. Like the first 2 days, we can see the blue skies and the sun. Finally, in the final, we can see the sun again. Like 5 days rains straight forward, but we make it. I hope that everyone will enjoy the finals.
They absolutely will. Thank you so much, Tommy, for your time.
Welcome.
Cheers. Tommy Wong. It was always fun talking to Tommy, and today was the first time on camera, perhaps. The good news is that the covers are going away, and I really, really hope we can start the game as quickly as possible.
Let's take a look at some of the wickets to fall in the first innings. Oh, sorry, apparently this is the highlights of the Indian innings. They were good at the start. Uma Chaitri, severe off the back foot, through the offside as well. Marufa Akhtar came in for some punishment. Shweta Sehrawat with back-to-back boundaries off the right arm seamer. At this stage, we thought India A in firm command of the game, but then this happened. Shweta Sehrawat played all around a straight one from Nahida Akhtar. India, though, they just kept pressing on. Bit of luck there, make no mistake about that. Sultana Khatoon, she was slogged away high and long over deep mid-wicket, but then this happened. The first of many drop catches here for Bangladesh. Rabia Khan, she struck back the leg spinner, picked up exactly where she left off yesterday. Nahida as well did her best, and aside from that lofted shot for 6, she was actually fantastic in her spell. Then India A, once again, they stepped on the accelerator, peppering that extra cover boundary. Especially Vrinda Dinesh, her first game of the tournament, going down the ground. This gave Bangladesh A bit of hope. Look at that, big celebration, a send-off as well.
Yeah, Trisha did not expect that. Couldn't get going today. But that respectability was added to the total. Kanika was excellent in front of the wicket and behind it with shots of that kind. As she returned 30, not out. The outside edge served her really well today. It's the attacking intent that the batting coach said that looks for. And despite that jolt, India continued. This was a good collect though. It was very good collect by Rabia. A diving Soumya couldn't get there in time. Top of off is what the coach has told you. Sri Lanka couldn't believe it.
Yeah, they could have solidified their advantage, Bangladesh A, but too many reprieves like I spoke of earlier. This was the 7th wicket to fall. The run rate was dipping a bit for India A, but then Kanika Ahuja went big in that last over. A shot through the leg side. This one, it's technically not a drop catch, didn't even get her hands to it. But I was so disappointed with this. A misfield by mid-off, a regulation stop. But it went through her legs for 4-14 of that final over.
Brought a halt in place. So even as things get started, we just thought we'd catch up with Smita Chaitri, the admin manager and performance manager as well of the Hong Kong cricket team. Just the right time to have a good word with you. Firstly, congratulations for readying things and get this final in wonderful conditions. It must have been some anxious moments, Smita.
Yes, it was very, very difficult for us to, we can't control the weather as well. I mean, we did not expect it to be happen. I mean, continuously 3-4 days in a row. There's thunder, yellow rain. All those signals were very unpredictable. So, but finally here we are. We managed to get the finals done, and we're very happy about it.
We talk about the players being superstars on the field, but actually it's been you and the ground staff. And how big an occasion this has been for Hong Kong cricket as well, to have an ACC event, a first of its kind, to having hosted over here.
I mean, it's one. I mean, it's hosting. ACC have hosted this one of the biggest tournament in many years. If I'm not wrong, it's 19-20 years ago we had one, and finally we're hosting one here. So it's a very good opportunity for Cricket Hong Kong to learn, and I'm sure we have learned a lot of things from this tour, and I'm sure next time it will be the better comeback.
Certainly, we all have enjoyed the hospitality and the warmth that Cricket Hong Kong has extended towards us, even as play gets underway in the middle. A word on Cricket Hong Kong as well, an opportunity for them to be playing some A teams. You've been part with the men's team, so certainly you will have a perspective to share on that regard.
Yeah, I mean, I've been with men's team last year with the Asia Cup qualifier and Asia Cup in Dubai as well. So we are yet to, I mean, our players are obviously have so much to learn from these, I mean, especially India and Pakistan and Bangladesh, all the teams we have. Our players have lots of to learn from it as well. So it's a good opportunity to be able to, face them. And even Asia Cup qualifier, and I mean Asia Cup last year, our men's were very, very thrilled, and they learned so much from other team as well. So it's one of the best experience for them as well.
Right, and certainly we are also enjoying the experience of being here at this venue and enjoying, the conditions and the situations that the teams are playing themselves in. Thank you very much for your time, Smita. Let's get back to all the action in the middle, and we are looking forward to many more such tournaments at this venue and with Cricket Hong Kong.
Sure, thank you so much.
Right, Smita Chhetri there, the performance manager and admin manager of Hong Kong Cricket.
Thank you, Mikhail. It's always good to talk to Smita to get her views, especially on Hong Kong cricket. She knows it inside out. She's been with the men's team, the women's team, and we're waiting for the umpire's decision here. Now, when did the ball touch the bail is the bigger question. Of course, off the ricochet it did, but before that, was there some part of that ball on the stumps enough to dislodge the bail and disturb it? That's what the third umpire is looking for. Now is when the bails were disturbed. What do you think, Jay? Does it augur well for the batter? Because the ball definitely hit on the way to the keeper. It hit the stumps on the way to the keeper. That's when the bail started to dislodge. And off the ricochet, it definitely fell. This will be an interesting one. Or do you suggest that the bail was falling anyway? This will be an interesting one, and no matter how much you cover cricket, it always gives you something new to take away every single day.
Yeah, you can see why they're taking their time. Look, India A definitely in front in this contest, but there's always a hope of a revival if you can get a few boundaries away. Rabia, she's sweating on this one, waiting for that decision from the TV umpire, Shreyanka Patil. She wants that third wicket. She's been absolutely fabulous so far today, Shreyanka Patil. You get a feeling if a wicket is to fall now, this might be one of the final nails in the coffin for Bangladesh A. They've struggled a bit, lost too many wickets so far in this chase. 68 for 6. Is it going to become 68 for 7? Yeah, it's one of those things, if it's taken this long, you get the feeling that it might just be a judge not out. take another look at this. Go back. And you can see a lot of VIPs as well in the background looking on intently. Got Burji Shroff, chairperson of Cricket Hong Kong, Simon Willis, the head coach of the men's national team, all in attendance for the big final here at the Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. Rabia Khan. Decision is in, and yes, like we predicted, they rule in favor of the batter. It always happens, doesn't it? Whenever they take that long, usually, not always, but usually, the benefit of the doubt goes to the batter. Shreyanka Patil, she won't get that third wicket, but she continues to cause issues for Bangladesh A.
Trisha does well. There is always a bit of dodging that the ball does to the fielder because of torque. Still Trisha having the hands in the right position.
Yeah, they've been a lot better in the field today, India A, compared to Bangladesh A. That's been one of the differences between these two teams. Rabia playing a miss, just 2 runs coming in her first 9 deliveries. She's struggling, she's looking for a boundary. You can see trying to find that gap, square of the wicket on the offside. Couldn't make any connection on that. You can see just a little bit of despair on her face. 2 balls left in the 14th. Turns that into a full toss, creams it through the offside. Has she found the gap? It's running down to the boundary. I think it might just get there, and yes it does. An all-important boundary at a crucial stage for Bangladesh A.
Yeah, the short spell of rain will also mean that she's going to get a wet ball for the final delivery, as this one was kissing the carpet of grass all throughout and eventually trickled to the boundary rope. Tethas tried her best. I think she just kept on delaying the dive as well. In the end, the ball winning the race. 2 for 8. Shreyanka, still very good figures, those.
Big appeal, it's close, it's very close, and yes, no hesitation at all from the umpire, gets that finger up, and Rabia Khan has been trapped in front. Shreyanka Patil with the 3rd wicket.
Yeah, what's better than 2 for 8? 3 for 8. Pushing Rabia on the back foot. And then she was a sitting duck here. The ball didn't turn much. Omar Chetri, even with the muted appeal, knew that the finger will go up. This is not auguring well for Bangladesh A. The Tigeresses are wounded. 6 of 11 for Rabia. Bangladesh A loses 7th.
72 for 7 after 14 overs. Just 6 overs left after this. They need a further 56 runs. Look at that required rate. 9.33 runs an over. At the start of the innings, the required rate was 6.4 runs per over. It's risen by almost 3 runs to the over. It's tough. It's a tough situation to be in if you're Bangladesh A. You're losing wickets, but you're falling behind the required rate as well. And one of those wickets was taken by the new bowler reintroduced at the crease. Here's Kanika Ahuja. Got Soumya Tiwari there at long off. Long on as well, back on the boundary. In the air, Soumya. Oh, she won't cut it off. A welcome boundary here for Bangladesh. But still, that required rate touching 9 runs and over.
What a way to greet Kanika to bowl the second. When you need 9 and over, you're targeting the first half of the over more so to set the tone nicely as a batter. Getting that boundary will do a world of good to Nahida's confidence. That'll be wide. 5 runs of the first ball. That's how Nahida would be counting. 52 of 35. Sultana still new to the crease, yet to face a ball.
An untidy start again for Kanika Ahuja. Watchfully played Nahida. Yeah, that was such an important hit though, Nahida, with the first boundary. And she hit 21 of 16 yesterday in a player of the match performance. So she's coming into this game in a little bit of form. 4 balls left now. Goes after that one. Exactly 50 runs needed now. They only have 33 deliveries to do it in. Sultana Khatun, the off spinner, in earlier than she would have anticipated. Scoreless, yet to get off the mark.
The way Kanika has come back with a ball in hand after that treatment of ACL that she took care of in Chandigarh. It's a story that can provide much needed moxie to so many youngsters watching. Sultana Khatun. Now we'll get off the mark.
It's always important to get that first run under your belt. But I think for Sultana Khatun, the priority has to be to get Nahida back on strike. The player in form. I'm not going to say she's well set, but 11 of 13. At least she's got a bit of a start here. 49 needed. 1 ball left in the 15th. It's still 49 needed to win.
15 overs gone, 79 for 7.
Then you leave. 1-1. That's your leg stump.
127 for 7, India A. Thanks to Brinda's 36 of 29, her first innings here in Hong Kong. And Kanika's 30 not out of 23 provided the impetus towards the end. And Bangladesh A in reply, 79 for 7. Mannat Kashyap has been a star bowler for India, now has 5 more deliveries to make an impact in this game. A quick single there. And a quick question to Jay. There was a little spell of rain, isn't it? We'll come back to that in just a moment. Mikhail's got someone very special to talk to.
No better time to get the perspective of a gentleman who's been at the forefront of many such big events. I'm talking to a man who's an institution by himself, Mr. Mahinda Valipuram, the chairman of the ACC Development Committee. Mr. Valipuram, thank you for your time. Firstly, congratulations for pulling off something as big as this, a new endeavor, a new concept which has been embraced by everyone involved in it.
Thank you very much. I think it's glad to be part of the team, but it's really more important to see cricket actually develop. And I think over the years, the Asian Cricket Council is certainly very focused with that. And the current president and the board is, 100% behind in building cricket, not only just for men and boys, but also for women and girls as well. That's a great thing for cricket.
Certainly, we can see it unfold right in front of us. For somebody who spent so much of time in this field since 2005, you've held office, let me add. Just want to pick your brains on a few things. We talk about Asian Cricket Council promoting women's cricket, men's cricket, but when we talk about multiple sports as well, is that something where your focus is largely channelized upon?
I think the Asian Cricket Council goes beyond than just organizing, firstly, events which lead into the World Cup, the ICC World Cups. So we start from under 16, under 19, emerging as you saw, and then the Asia Cup itself. But when it comes to the multi-sports, we have spent the last 15 odd years basically working with the various Olympic committees to include cricket into the Asian Games to start with. And in 2010 we saw cricket being played in Guangzhou in China, 2014 in Incheon, and we missed the 2018 edition, but in 2023, this year, we will see it back in Hangzhou, China. The main thing about cricket being included in multi-sport, it opens up many different doors, and that could be in terms of support from government, support from the Olympic Council in the various countries, the national sports councils, and that brings in funding, that brings in sponsorship. So it helps the total ecosystem to grow, And for associates, I think that's a very important thing for us to do. And we also see that not only at the Asian Games, when we look at the sub-region games, namely the Southeast Asian Games or the SAARC Games. So these are things that we need to grow over the next years and not just include but increase the number of teams, because this allows a different pathway and a different type of involvement, and also continuous tournaments, coaching, getting more umpires, officials. It's all about connecting the dots, and I think that's an important thing to do.
Quite certainly, the vision is vast. Even as we talk, another wicket falls. This means India is certainly inching closer towards this big win in the final as well. Your thoughts on getting more countries involved into this entire concept, and also touching upon new countries with the multi-sports theory. I'm sure there is a certain plan towards it.
Sure. I think the most important thing is, whilst we have existing ACC members, and they may play in an ACC tournament, but we are getting approaches to become new members, and we have a few countries in line. But when we look into the into the multi-sport angle, that also opens the door for citizens of the countries to play, because that's one of the, you could say, requirement by the IOC, the Olympic councils. That's its requirement. Now, when it's backed and it's in the event, that gives a spur, if you like, for growth of the game from an early age of 12, 14, 16. When you look at Asian Games today, like I said, 2023 is in China. You look forward, 2026 is in Japan, 2030, then 2034, and we got cricket lined up. So a kid who's now picking up the game at 12, 14 years old, at the age of 21, 22, he's going to play, wanting to play, or she would be wanting to play. And then when we look at all these ACC pathways that we are doing, under 16, 19 and so on, that both helps each other, right? And I think that's very important for us to recognize and really work to help all our member countries to achieve their goals as well.
Well, I must congratulate you on the vision firstly, and to also ensure that all of this is being practiced and put in place for the years to come. I can safely say as a viewer that sports and Asian sports and cricket is in safe hands. Thank you so much for your time, Mr. Varan.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
That was Mahinda Valipuram, Chairman, ACC Development Committee. Back to the commentators.
Thank you, Mikhail. Thank you, Mr. Mahinda Valipuram, for the time. Oh, there's so much to learn about what ACC is planning ahead as well. 17 overs later, 85 for 8, a successful over for Kanika. She picked up Sultana.
Yeah, 85 for 8. They're going exactly 5 runs and over. But the bigger issue for them is that wickets column. 8 wickets have fallen. They need 43 of the final 3 overs, and it's going to take a bit of a mini miracle for Bangladesh A to chase this down and clinch the trophy. Here's what's gone wrong. That batting card. Shanti at the top, 13 off 11. But nothing much else to speak of. Sobana, 16 off 22. But then after that, 4, 1, 9, 13 not out for Nahida, 6 for Rabia. Sultana Khatun just making 4 runs. Marufa Akhtar new at the crease, but she's got a mountain to climb. 85 for 8. India A all over the opposition. Shreyanka Patil into a 4th over.
Look at that single. In fact, more than that, as she dived over it there, Kanika. But she's taken some pace off the ball. Enough time to recover and get the throw in. Good work in the end. 3 for 10 is still wonderful from Shreyanka. Is she eyeing another 5? And not that she's looking for one, but very much possible.
I tell you, it would take a brave person to bet against a 4th wicket for Shreyanka. Not sure about a 5th. But Kanika Ahuja's had a bit of an interesting day. A bit of a misfield there. Got a 30 odd with the bat, but was dropped twice. Missed stumping as well.
True. The captain's not complaining. If you can tie the opposition down to 88 for 8, the captain's not complaining. 40 of 17. I'm afraid this is entering into the one-way traffic zone. 3 for 11. Pulls out, and rightly so. as a bowler, you're thriving on rhythm, and the moment you realize that you're not 100%, it's always good to pull out of the delivery.
Five balls left in the 18th. That's slapped away through the offside, straight to the fielder, however. Another dot ball, a familiar result this for India A. They've definitely been the better of the two teams today. 14 runs coming in that final over. I think that's what swung the momentum in favour of India A as well. 4 balls left.
It's given. Wanted to hit on the leg side. It's taken on the off. Oh, the replay will tell us a little more. I think it was on the back of the bat. But good presence of mind by the fielder at 45. Oh yes, the back of the bat. Uma Chhetri still searching for the ball, but the catch was complete by then. Today has been a day of leading edges and more. 88 for 9. Just 1 wicket away from what will be a very famous victory for India A.
One wicket away from the trophy.
Bowling right arm around, 3 to go.
Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023. What a great end to the tournament yesterday. We had a last over thriller. We've had 4 last over thrillers. I don't think this one's going down to the last over, however. Shreyanka Patil. Ooh, bit of an anti-climax. That one's sliding down the leg side. Can she get that 5th wicket? Can she finish things off right now?
What would be better than a fifer? A victory for the country. And getting that fifer not once but twice in the tournament. And how many times have India played a full game? 2 times. Shreyanka. 3 more deliveries left for her to make an impact. 90 for 9 Bangladesh. A very confident looking Indian dugouts already doing the warm-ups to run in if required. Run not available. Kanika quick to pounce on it.
Just formalities at this point to feel. Dominant against Hong Kong. Dominant once again today in the big final. Outnumbered Indian fans this round, Bangladeshi fans. They made up the majority today. Some of them are still stuck around, still hoping.
The idea is to keep it as wide as possible. She's sensing that Shanjida might want to break free by dancing down the track.
Yeah, she's got to do something at this point. There's no point pushing and prodding your way to an inevitable loss. Try to go big.
And a solid front foot defense. Shreyanka finishes with unreal figures of 4 for 13. Excellent nonetheless. 90 for 9 Bangladesh.
In 2 games, she's taken 9 wickets, Shreyanka Patil, making a strong case for player of the tournament. That iconic pink headband, RCB all-rounder. 9 wickets in 2 games. She's making a strong case for player of the series, Shreyanka Patil. Here's Kanika Ahuja.
Are they pushing for 2 here? That'll be risky. 37 of 11 balls. Where are the big hits coming from? Shanjit has yet to open her account. Nahid has spent 19 deliveries, including this one. It's an innings from Bangladesh that never caught steam, that never could kick into the next gear. A couple of starts and that's about it. Someone had to tread on. Put their hand up and say it's going to be me on the big day. It's one-way traffic at the moment. 36 from 10 balls.
Your top score of 16 is not going to win you a big final. Nobody getting into the 30s or the 40s.
And a single is not something that's going to hurt India at this stage. Kanika is giving the ball a little more loop. She's expecting the batter to come after her, of course. Despite the 9 wickets that have gone down, Shanjida has got to look to be positive. 35 of 9. Again, I almost felt that she pulled out of that big shot at the last moment. The equation doesn't suggest that approach.
Yeah, this is not the time to pull out of the big shot. It's to give it everything you've got. Kanika Ahuja 2 for 22, making a strong case for player of the match, maybe.
Yes, 30 not out, and now 2 for 22. Down the ground, will pick up, down on the ground rather, will pick up that single. You know what, I look at the sky and it sort of sums up this match for me. The dark clouds approaching is something that Bangladesh A relate to. The sunshine is sunshine and the silver lining, something that India A relate to. This one didn't bounce as much, but she keeps it out somehow. Kanika almost put her hand up and turned in appeal. Realized the bat was offered to it. 19 overs gone, 95 for 9. The final over coming up.
Decent spell as well for Kanika Ahuja, 2 for 23 in her 4 overs. But yeah, 33 to win off the last over. It's still mathematically possible, but it's highly improbable. And to close things out in the 20th over, India A, they're absolutely merciless. It's going to be Tita Sadhu. She opened things up with the ball. She's going to close things out as well in this tournament. And I don't think she wants this game to go down to the final ball. She wants to finish things off right now. India A, dominant against the home side. Hong Kong bowled them out for 34. Won by 9 wickets. That's why they got straight through to the final in spite of that semi-final being washed out. And here they are on the cusp of another trophy. A lot of these players, the Under-19 World Cup, that's where they were at. They lifted the trophy at the Under-19 World Cup. They're about to lift another trophy. Here's Tita Sadhu for the last over.
Would be attacking the stumps, no. Single off the first ball. Something that won't hurt India at all. 32 of 5. India is sensing the victory. India is sensing that they've already got one hand on the trophy. Tita Sadhu, known for her Yorkers. Can she get one right? In the air, and Kanika pouches it. It's one of the most difficult catches, but Kanika's made it look so simple. Bangladesh A bowl out, and it's India A who emerge winners in the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023. It's been a tournament that was characterized by patience, persistence, and a lot of preparation to play here in Hong Kong. And India A stood top.
What a victory. What a commanding performance by India A. 127 for 7 with the bat. They said they were targeting something in the region of 120. They got more than that. And they defended this total with the utmost professionalism. Here's the winning moment. Tita Sadhu with the last wicket. Kanika Ahuja. Look at this diving catch. What a stylish way to close out a tournament. A trophy-winning tournament here for India A. One of the youngest teams, potentially the youngest team at the tournament. Some of them just lifted that Under-19 T20 World Cup trophy in South Africa, and they win another trophy in Hong Kong.
A team that's already proving a point. A team that can travel so well. The preparations have been commendable. The coaching staff have put everything in making the girls 100% ready for the games whenever they got one and the weather allowed. The wind is picking up again, but will allow enough time for the handshakes. It's been a marvelous performance, and India A would be mighty proud as new heroes have emerged every time they took the field. Shreyanka Patil has been phenomenal with the ball in hand. 4 today, 5 in the first game, and just tells you the importance of winning the game by that huge margin when they played against Hong Kong, as it allowed them the cushion to sit back if the Rains were to play spoil sport. Come the big finale, they haven't put a foot wrong. Won the toss, chose to bat first. 125 and beyond proved to be more than enough for Bangladesh A as the Tigeresses succumbed to brilliant bowling. The rain started again, but this time it'll be greeted with both hands by the team that's learning to roar with every game that they play. India A are building new heroes.
They do not care about this latest downpour at the ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup, and this is why. Check out that scorecard. Absolute dominance by India A. Bangladesh A, the top score, 16 off 22 by Sobana Mustari. Other than that, Nahida 17 not out, and nothing much to write home about. All out for 96 with 4 balls to spare in their 20 over quota.
When you're chasing over 120 on a track of this kind with rain threats imminent, you've got to have the top 3 firing. The engine room succumb to pressure. Mannat being the destroyer in chief. And now the rain pours harder. Perhaps adding another layer to the photographs that will be etched in memory forever. Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023 champions, India A.
Look at that, it's absolutely pouring down now at the Tin Kwong Road Recreation Ground. But the weather gods, they wanted to see how this tournament ended. They wanted to see who won the trophy. We've been witness to a very special performance here from India A.
Just in a matter of seconds, what would have been a bane has turned into a boon. This shower greeted by everyone. That's how the India A bowling card pans out. Mannat, 3 wickets, picking up the engine room, ensuring that Bangladesh A were tottering by the time the middle order could do something about the score. And Shreyanka picked up 4, no matter where you bowl her. Incredible economy, 3.25. And always there for the captain to put her hand up and say, I would do the trick for you. Kanika picks up 2 as well. And Sadhu's 1 wicket towards the end is enough to see India through to a famous win indeed. ACC Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup. It's something that has tested the patience of the cricketers, the preparation of the cricketers for sure. But India A emerged victorious as they had their hands, their hearts and minds in the right place. Cricket was always a priority, and I think it's going to be a camp that will be mighty proud of themselves. These are things that you dream of when you pack your bags for a tour, and I'm very sure that the kit bag will have enough space for the accolades that they're yet to collect as well, apart from the big trophy. All in all, a great final that we've got here at the Tin Kwong Recreation Ground.
Let's take a look at these highlights. The start of the innings for Bangladesh, a little more positive than the end of the innings. Dita Sadhu, she was smashed away over extra cover. At this point, we thought maybe Bangladesh have a chance, but Mannat Kashyap had other ideas. Struck early, not just once, but twice either side of these boundaries of Dita Sadhu. There you go, second wicket. A bit of a nothing shot, an easy return catch for the left-arm spinner. Big celebrations at this point as well. Bangladesh, they kept fighting. The square cut, rather. Square the wicket on the offside. Another boundary. They took advantage of anything that was a little bit too wide, but then Shreyanka Patil struck with a big wicket of Bangladesh skipper Lata Mondal.
And that was the first of many more to come. Shreyanka Patil. Bangladesh treaded on, finding the gaps. But this was enough to pick up another Once a left-hander left, there was a lot of right-handers to bowl to, and Sri Lanka did not miss out. Kanika, despite being hit away for 6, came back with not 1 but 2 wickets. One of them being this one. And watch out for the celebrations. She wants the decibel levels to be up, especially the one screaming India. Soumya completes a lovely catch to send back another batter. And this was perhaps the only glimmer of hope, Robia, who found the boundary on the offside. And once Robia was caught straight in front of the wicket, Sri Lanka Patil rode, and she knew that was the final nail in the coffin. There wasn't much firepower to come thereafter for Bangladesh A to try and chase down 120 odd. While she was absorbed in the appeal, little did she realize there's another mode of taking the wicket too available. Sri Lanka, wicket taking Patil. And this catch from Kanika is something that you want to frame and put up in the living room, as that brought victory to India A
T20 World Cup trophy
in a tournament that tested so many attributes of the game.
Kong.
The layer to the photographs that will be etched in memory. The Women's Emerging Teams Asia Cup 2023 winners, India A.
And they deserve this. Definitely. By a mile, the better team today. They batted better, they fielded better, and they bowled. They bowled as a unit. Every single member of that bowling lineup stepping up for India A. The future for India A, much like the weather right now, looking very bright. Here's that match summary once again. 127 for 7 in the first innings after winning the toss and choosing to bat first. Vrinda Dinesh top scoring with 36 off 29. Kanika Ahuja with the finishing touches, 30 off 23, not out. Uma Chaitri chipping in with 22. The wickets, 2 each for Nahida and, of course, Sultana Khatun. But in reply, they could only muster 96 in 19.2 overs. They were bowled out. Nahida Akhtar top scoring with 17 not out off 22. But Suhas, just not enough runs.
Yeah, India got the runs on the board, and it's always difficult to chase with the pressure of the big finale. But spare thought for Nahida. 2 for 13 in the first with the ball in hand, and then 17 not out of 22 is a fighting total indeed. It's just that they needed somebody to step up, provide the big shots in the middle over so that there's not much left towards the end. But the required rate just kept on mounting. It was dancing to its own drum beats.
It's such a tough situation to be in, isn't it? Because they were losing wickets left, right and centre. But at the same time, like you said, that required rate just kept rising. It started at 6.4 runs per over at the start of the innings. And before you knew it, with 6 or 7 overs left, it had ballooned to 9.3, 9.5 runs an over.
Yeah, 128 became a distant dream as Rubia walked back as well, as there wasn't enough firepower to provide that crescendo finish to 128 that Bangladesh A were looking for. All in all, India A were clinical with their bat in hand and then the ball in hand, and deserved to be the winners at the end of this fantastic final. The rain's not abating, it's come back. But I think we squeezed in just enough time to click the pictures and frame it forever. I hope you enjoyed the game too as much as we did. And an absolute pleasure being alongside Jay.
Suhas, the feeling is definitely mutual. Not the first time we've commentated together. And I think it's not the first time we're going to see some of these Indian players lifting a trophy. And I'm sure if you're an Indian fan, you want them to lift a World Cup trophy as well, a senior World Cup trophy.
India A winning by 31 runs being the bottom line that they'll remember forever. Oh, what dreams these 15 members came to Hong Kong with, and those dreams have been realized. A lot of youngsters were going through a transition in their own game as well as this team was put together. The good news for India A as they arrived is the fact that some of them have played with each other for a long time, and it's not the first time they were touring. But still, there was some homework to do to acclimatize to the conditions here in Hong Kong and then deliver in the style that they have. They hold themselves in high standards. They set a high benchmark for themselves, and India A have delivered. We'll dive into a short break, and when we come back, we'll have the final presentation.